Chapter 1320. North of the city, in the central area, in the backyard of a magnificent courtyard, two people were sneakily talking about something. After that, one of them gave the other a bag of things and left with satisfaction. Please search product hashtag to see the most complete. Update the fastest. In less than half a day, the news from the north of the city was sent back to the Zhang family. Zhang Qi sat on a chair and looked at the kneeling Zhang Peng. Have you found anything? Yes, elder, Zhang Peng said. We've already received news that the Xi family does have a young mistress. Recently, she did leave the city's north and went to other areas to play. Are you sure it's the woman who was with Mu Si? Zhang Qi asked. I think so. It was said that when she left, she only brought a ghost guard with her. That Xi only had one ghost guard by her side. Also, it's said that the Xi family's young miss coming out to play is a secret. Many people in the north of the city don't know about it, and there's no news about it outside. If this Xi isn't the young miss, she wouldn't know about this. If that's the case, then this Xi really is the eldest young miss of the Xi family. Zhang Qi said. I think it's pretty close to the mark, Zhang Peng said. Although the Xi family has a good relationship with that person, if we kill their young miss now, I'm afraid it will cause a lot of trouble. Right now, Zhang Shua's matter is still unclear, and that supremacy is nowhere to be seen. Since the Xi clan doesn't have much of a grudge with us, let's put this person aside for now. Zhang Qi said. Yes, Elder Qi. Everyone else, continue to investigate. We must find the person who killed Zhang Shua. If you don't have enough people, I'll transfer another 200 men to you. Yes. At that moment, Sima Yue, Mu Si, and Di Wu were still strolling in the city. They had no idea about this coincidence. If she knew, she would definitely thank this low-key young lady. She was truly a great person. However, out of all the young ladies she had met so far, only Xiaohong was a low-key person, so she didn't think that there would be other young ladies who kept such a low profile. What's more, he didn't expect that the young lady would come out to play. When the people on the street saw Sima Yue and Mu Si together, they looked at them as if they were looking at an idiot. She actually dared to be with someone like Mu Si. Was she tired of living? Who is that person? How daring. That's right. Zhang Shua had disappeared after chasing after Mu Si. The Zhang family would definitely look for him. This person still dared to be with him. Wasn't this a classic case of courting death? It would be terrible if the Zhang family treated him as an accomplice. I don't think so. Didn't they say that Zhang Shua and Meng Tianshan were killed by the same person? Moreover, Pang Qi and Meng Tianshan of the Pang family had died around the same time. They should have been killed together. Pang Qi was a half-step supremacy. The person who killed him must be very strong. This little girl looked very young. How could it be her? That's true, but when the Zhang clan does things, they would rather kill the wrong person than let the wrong person go. Regardless of whether Mu Si had anything to do with Zhang Shua's death, he couldn't escape. Since this woman dares to be with him, I don't even need to think to know what will happen to her. This woman is really beautiful. Aren't there a few lecherous people in the Zhang family? If I'm discovered, I'm afraid I won't be able to keep my life, but I'm afraid I'll end up in an even more miserable state. Ha ha ha, you don't know about this, right? Someone laughed. I saw it this morning. What did you see? In the morning, Zhang Peng brought people to Mu Si's house. I was far away and didn't hear anything, but I saw him leave dejectedly after hearing a few words from this woman. This woman is definitely not an ordinary person. Really? Of course it's true. That person said, why don't you think about it? If not, would Mu Si dare to swagger out now? That's true. In that case, this woman has a great background? Definitely. Otherwise, how could Zhang Peng run away with his tail between his legs? What a pity. I originally wanted to capture such a beautiful girl and have some fun. Damn fatty, don't even think about it. If you go, you'll probably be castrated. You won't be able to be a man in the future. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The surrounding people laughed. Although they guessed that her identity might not be ordinary, some people stopped thinking about it. However, there were too many lecherous people. There would always be some who wouldn't shed tears until they saw the coffin. Even if Mu Si wasn't strong, he could feel the wretched gazes of those people behind him. He didn't know why, but he felt a fire burning in his heart this time. Sima Yue felt that his mood wasn't right. She stopped and asked, "What's wrong?" "Those people." Mu Si clenched his fist and glared at those people. After so many years, only she treated him well. He didn't want those people's wretched thoughts to taint her. Sima Yue glanced at those people and said, "Those people's eyes are on their bodies. What's the use of being angry? You can't just go up and kill them, right?" "But they're annoying." Mu Si said, "Wait until you're strong. Those people won't dare to treat you like that. They'll only be filled with fear." Sima Yue said, "You can make them fear." Mu Si said with certainty. He believed that as long as she was willing, she could make those people close their eyes forever. Sometimes fear doesn't mean you have to rush up and beat them up. Sima Yue smiled evilly. "Missy, what bad idea did you come up with again?" Di Wu saw Sima Yue's smile and went up to her curiously. "Did I?" "Yes." Di Wu said with certainty. "I heard that every time you want to do something bad, you'll smile like that." Sima Yue was speechless. She squinted her eyes and stared at him. Who said that? Di Lu and the rest. Di Wu then noticed that Sima Yue's expression wasn't right. He chuckled and looked to both sides. Di Lu. When Di Wu heard Sima Yue mention Di Lu's name, his heart skipped a beat. Damn it, he seemed to have tricked old Sixth. Sima Yue looked at those people and said, "We've been shopping for the whole day. Let's go back. Mu Si should be hungry." They decided to go back. Sima Yue turned back and smiled at those people after walking for a distance. Then, she brought the two of them back. Sima Yue made a big meal for Mu Si for dinner. Mu Si had never eaten such delicious food before. Plus he was hungry, so he ate to his heart's content. Di Wu benefited a lot from it. Sima Yue was in a good mood when she thought about what happened tonight, so she ate quite a lot too. After eating, she kept the food and said, "We have guests tonight. We have to take good care of them." "Guests?" Sima Yue smiled. "You'll know when the time comes. Chapter 1321. When they were resting at night, Sima Yue set up another barrier. It was the opposite of the one last night. This one only allowed people to enter and not leave. Then he set up 2 more arrays, which made Mu Si stunned. How many things did she know? Late at night, Sima Yue woke up from her meditation. She got off the bed and wore her shoes. Then she waited for the people outside the courtyard to come in. Why are you here too?" "Damn fatty, didn't you say you're not coming? You stinky old man, since you're here, why can't I be here too? Tramp is here too. There are quite a lot of people here tonight. What should we do? Do we have to decide who's the winner now?" "Are you stupid? We sneaked in here, how can we let others know? If we make too much noise, it'll be troublesome." "That's true. But there are 3 of us, how are we going to split?" "Let's capture her first. It's not like we haven't enjoyed a woman together before. We can do it again later." "Hee, that's not bad too. Someone else is here." Before the 3 of them entered, 2 more black figures came over. "TSK, there are quite a lot of people here tonight. Those 2 will definitely snatch from us when they come. Let's go in and take her away." They did not push the gate that was on the verge of collapsing. Instead, they jumped over the fence and flew in. When the 2 people in the distance saw that 3 people had already flown in, they became anxious. They sped up and ran over, leaping into the sky. But the 2 of them were stunned the moment they entered. They saw Sima Yue smiling as she sat in front of her room. Di Wu and Mu Si were standing on both sides of her. "Welcome to Mu Si's house." Sima Yue looked at the 5 of them who were frozen in the courtyard. "Array? You're an array master?" Their faces turned ugly. If they had known that she was an array master, then even if they had lecherous thoughts, they wouldn't have dared to do this. "Look at your expressions," Sima Yue said. "Why, if I'm not an array master, are you going to take action tonight?" Even if you're an array master, this array won't be able to trap us." "Then you can try," Sima Yue said. "If you can get out of my array, I will spare your lives tonight. I'll let you leave." "Ha ha ha, arrogant brat. Do you know who we are? Stinky old ghost laughed. Who else could it be? They're just a bunch of perverts. Sima Yue said. Humph, even if you don't know, the brat beside you definitely knows. Brat, tell her who are your grandpas? Fatty said. Their nicknames are Damn Fatty, Stinky Old Ghost, and Tramp. The three of them are known as the Sex Demon Trio. There are at least 8,000 if not 10,000 women who have been defiled by their hands. Mu Si said. The other two have lesser reputations, but they are also famous for raping women. See, I told you they were just perverts. Sima Yue said. Out of the 5 of them, 4 of them are peak monarch ranked experts. One of them is a half-step paragon. Mu Si added. They are indeed stronger when grouped together, no wonder they did so many bad things. Sima Yue said. But it's a pity, you guys aren't paragon yet, so you can't get out of this array. Emph. Little girl, just wait for us to come out, and take you out to enjoy yourself. Then I'll wait and see. Sima Yue said. The night is long, Mu Si, are you hungry? Do you want some supper? Sure. The one who replied was Di Wu. Mu Si didn't say that he wanted to eat, but he didn't say that he didn't want to either. Sima Yue knew that he was thinking about it. It's best to eat barbecued meat and drink wine at night. That's what enjoyment is. Sima Yue said. Wait for it, little Mu Si. Mu Si didn't have any reaction to her calling him that. He protested during the day, but it was useless, so he just let her be. Sima Yue took out the barbecue rack and prepared ingredients and started to barbecue. The ingredients were all prepared, and very soon, the aroma of the barbecued meat floated out, causing the gluttonous worm in that damn fatty's stomach to turn. This array is so hard to deal with, it can't be destroyed with spiritual power. He attacked the array fiercely, but no matter what they did, the array was still intact. Mu Si heard the commotion they made and said, See you, if you let these people attack like this, will it attract others? No, I've set up a barrier outside. It can isolate spiritual power and sound. The people outside won't notice what's happening here. The barrier is so powerful. Of course. Di Wu said. Little Mu Si, you're still young and don't have much contact. When you grow up, you'll see more things. You'll realize that this world is very interesting. Mu Si's heart was hooked. He started to be more curious about the world, and he wasn't just waiting here for his father to come back. Sima Yue quickly barbecued a few big plates of barbecued meat. The remaining ingredients were placed there. She would get more if there wasn't enough. Sima Yue opened a jar of fruit wine for Mu Si, then opened a jar of strong liquor for Di Wu. Before they drank, they heard a gasp from outside. Smells so good. The aroma of barbecued meat and wine. Missy, slow down. Creak bang. Mu Si watched as his gate fell to the ground and a woman walked in with a servant. The lady saw the people who were trapped in the courtyard. She asked curiously, They're trapped by an array? What a strange courtyard. Missy, it's dangerous. The old servant walked to her side and looked at the people in the courtyard vigilantly. Yeah. There's indeed good food. The lady saw Sima Yue and the rest in the courtyard. She ran over and sat down without any reservation. Hello, may I ask if I can eat this? The lady asked. You may. Sima Yue nodded. She had been watching the lady since she came in, although she was very fast just now. She actually avoided her array accurately. This person was an array master who was proficient in arrays. Hebo, this barbecued meat is delicious. The lady ate a few mouthfuls and said to the old servant, Come try it too. Missy. Hebo was helpless. Missy was too careless. How could she casually eat when she didn't even know this person? What if something went wrong? Eat it, it's really delicious. The lady pulled Hebo to sit beside her. Sima Yue looked at her. She wondered which family's Missy was so daring. Wow, this wine smells so good, it's so delicious. The lady carried Mu Si's wine jar and drank it. Wow, barbecued meat with good wine, it feels so good. Sima Yue looked at her and asked, I wonder if this Missy. Don't call me Missy, just call me Siyu. PFFF Di Wu and Mu Si spat out the wine in their mouths. Chapter 1322. Fortunately, at the last moment, Di Wu and Mu Si tilted their heads to the side and spat all the wine onto the ground. Only then was the table full of roasted meat preserved. Sima Yuyue's hand froze in midair. What did you say your name was? Diwu looked at Siyu like he was looking at an alien. This lady will never change her name, Siyu. Siyu lifted her chin and said proudly. Don't tell me you're the young miss of the Si family in the north of the city. How did you know? Siyu looked at them curiously. No one knows that I came out to play. Diwu and Musi looked at her in shock before looking at Sima Yuyue. This was too much of a coincidence. What's wrong? Siyu looked at them. These three people's gazes were too strange. Cough, cough. Nothing. Sima Yuyue coughed twice and said, We're just curious why a lady from the north of the city like you would come to the south of the city. Of course. Siyu said. I'm tired of playing there and want to see what other places are like. That's why I came out for a walk. How long have you been out? It wasn't that long, about a year. Siyu said. I only went to the east of the city for a while. But you also know that there is nothing fun in the east of the city, so I came to the south of the city. Not long. Sima Yue lowered her head and drank a mouthful of wine to hide her embarrassment. This time, she was really embarrassed. Her random identity turned out to be real, and she met the real person in less than a day. She was probably the only one who could meet this kind of person. I haven't asked your names yet. I'm Diwu, this fellow is Mu Si. Diwu said. What about you? Siyu looked at Sima Yue and asked. Sima Yue wanted to make up a name, but seeing Siyu's bright eyes, she said, I'm Sima Yue. Ah. I'm Siyu and you're Sima Yue. Our names are quite similar. Siyu said excitedly. Of course it's similar. Otherwise, why would the front and back of my name be your name? Siyu felt close to Sima Yue because of their similar names. However, Hibo, who was sitting at the side, was deep in thought. By the way, Yue, who made this barbecued pork? It tastes so good. I've never eaten such delicious roasted pork before. Siyu ate the roasted pork and drank a mouthful of fruit wine. She was in a good mood. This feeling was simply too wonderful. I did it. We're going to watch a good show tonight. I was bored, so I made some mousse for supper, Sima Yue said. You did all of this. Is this wine yours too? I did it when I had nothing to do. Sima Yue impolitely snatched away little spirit's credit. Wow, you're amazing. Your cooking is so much better than mine. Siyu was truly impressed. As a rare glutton in the Si family, she knew how to cook as well. However, the food that she thought was delicious could not be compared to the roasted pork and wine in front of her eyes. With her joining in, the roasted pork on the table was quickly finished. Sima Yue looked at the few pieces of roasted pork and stood up. I'll go make some more for you guys. Sure. I'll also see how you make it. Siyu said, Can I see this? Of course, it's not a secret. Sima Yue came to the roasting rack and lit up the charcoal. When the charcoal turned red, she then placed the roasted pork on it to roast. Siyu had been watching from the start. She watched every step carefully and compared it with her usual method. She realized that Siyu's method was much better than hers. Are you planning to leave these people hanging? She looked at the 5 people in the array and asked. Why aren't you curious about who they are? Sima Yue asked. From the moment they came in, her attention was on the roasted pork and wine. She did not even mention the people in the array. Although I don't know who they are, I know what they do, Siyu said. I only followed them in the afternoon because I heard that they were going to snatch a beauty. I wanted to be a hero and save the beauty, but I didn't expect you guys to settle it yourself. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows and looked at her in surprise. She was wondering why a lady like her would come to the slums like Mu Si. So she followed these people. Hey, Yue, these people are here for you. Have you thought of how to deal with them? Siyu asked. Sima Yue asked as she brushed the seasoning on the roasted pork. If it were you, what would you do? Siyu thought about it seriously and said seriously. If it were me, I would chop off their limbs, dig out their eyeballs, cut off their tongues and ears, and make them into human swine. Then I would apply poison on their wounds and let worms grow on their wounds. They would crawl and crawl every day until the worms sucked their blood dry. Only then would they die. Sima Yue's forehead was dripping with cold sweat. She thought that Siyu was a kind-hearted lady. This answer was out of her expectations. It seemed like there was no such thing as a good person in Ghost City. Yue, what do you think of my idea? She winked at Sima Yue and asked. I don't know about your idea, but don't you think that thinking like this will affect your appetite? Sima Yue asked. Really? See, you didn't think so. Anyway, I won't be looking at them when I eat. It won't affect my appetite. Sima Yue laughed and shook her head. What a pure and heartless woman. You haven't told me your plans. Siyu asked. I don't have any plans. Sima Yue said. I told them that if they can walk out of my array, I'll spare their lives tonight. If they can't walk out, their lives will be mine when the sun rises. I'll make sure that anyone who tries to harm me will have a worthy ending. Your array is so complicated. Even if I go in, I might not be able to come out in one night. They don't know anything about arrays. They probably won't be able to come out for the rest of their lives. Siyu said confidently. When the people in the array heard her words, their faces turned even brighter. This Siyu was able to come in and not be trapped in the array. This meant that she had some attainments in arrays. They had been attacking the array for so long and there was no improvement. Now that she said that, they couldn't help but feel restless. Sima Yue quickly roasted a few plates of barbecued potatoes. Siyu ate happily again. Mu Si ate with Siyu because he didn't eat much just now. He was still a little hungry. Miss, since they can't come out, we don't have to guard here anymore, right? Diwu wanted to rest after eating his fill. There's no hurry. There are guests visiting tonight. Let's wait patiently. As she spoke, she took out some sunflower seeds and other snacks. Chapter 13:23. There's more. Let's wait, there should be more. Sima Yue said leisurely. She felt more than a few stares when she went out in the day. There are so many perverts in Ghost City, so there must be more than a few of them. Especially here, it's a slum district. There must be a lot of people who want to come here without any background. Siyu continued. Sometimes identity is also a form of intimidation. Cough cough. Sima Yue choked and quickly drank a mouthful of fruit wine. Didn't she use her identity to intimidate Zhang Peng in the day? If she knew about this, she didn't know how she would react. She felt a little awkward towards this genuine person who suddenly appeared. As expected, there were a few groups of people who came that night. When the sky turned bright, there were already more than 10 people trapped in the array, and every one of them was a powerful person. Yue, it's already bright, I don't think anyone will come, Siyu reminded. I think those who want to come should be here already. Sima Yue continued. More than 10 people came in one night. Should I be happy with my attractiveness? I rarely admit that others are prettier than me, but if it was me today, I'm afraid there wouldn't be so many either, Siyu said. This was also admitting that Sima Yue was more attractive than her. She had only gone for a walk on the streets, and she had already attracted so many people. If she really went out to do something, half of the city would probably go crazy for her. Sigh, there were so many perverts these days. Missy, how should we deal with them? Diwu asked. Human swine. Siyu shouted excitedly. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This fellow wasn't joking last night. But she wasn't interested in human swine. Let's give them all to Hua Hua. Who's Hua Hua? Siyu asked. A dog that eats people? The dog is here. Sima Yue pointed at Diwu. But he doesn't eat people. I'm a hellhound, not a dog. Diwu shouted. Dog, isn't it just a dog? Siyu blinked her large eyes and asked. Oh. Diwu was speechless. Although it was the same word, there was a huge difference, alright. A real man does not fight with a woman. He could at least drink. But who is Hua Hua? Siyu wasn't interested in the difference between a dog and a dog, but she was very interested in the Hua Hua that wanted to eat a large group of experts. Hua Hua is my contracted beast. Sima Yue said. Hua Hua, come out and meet Siyu. When Hua Hua came out, her petite figure attracted Siyu's attention. Yue, are you going to let such a small person eat so much? Won't you stuff her to death? Siyu shouted. Pooh. Diwu spat again. Bloated to death? Ha ha ha. He wiped the wine from the corner of his mouth and laughed. How can she be stuffed to death with just a few people? Even if there are 100 more, she won't die. Why? Siyu looked at Hua Hua in confusion. With such a small body, how could it eat so many people? These people are so strong, can Hua Hua eat them all? Musi asked worriedly. The strength of these people was much higher than Zhang Shua's guards. If they resisted, it would be difficult to successfully take them down. It's indeed difficult to eat them directly. Sima Yue said. But Xiao Mu Mu, sometimes it's difficult to do, you have to think of a way, understand? What way do you have? Siyu asked. It's simple. Sima Yue took out a bottle. The sky is turning bright, we have to hurry. She threw the bottle into the array. When those people saw the bottle, they subconsciously glanced at it. Smells so good, what's this? Good stuff. Sima Yue said. It's something that will make you all obediently get eaten. What? It's poison, Siyu exclaimed. Use poison to make them fall and make them unable to fight back. This is a good idea. It's poisonous and treacherous. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. What did she mean by poisonous and treacherous? But they're so strong. If you want to make them fall, the poison must be strong, Siyu reminded. No problem, Sima Yue said confidently. Very quickly, those people in the array fell one after another. They all looked at her in disbelief. Hua Hua, eat them. Someone's coming, Sima Yue said. Okay. Hua Hua nodded. She stretched out her hands and 2 vines flew out from her sleeves. Then more than 10 vines spread out. On each vine, there was a flower that was as tall as a person. Man-eating flower king. Hibo immediately recognized Hua Hua's identity. Sima Yue removed the array and Hua Hua took one flower after another. In a few seconds, all of them were sucked into the flowers. Then she kept them. Sima Yue gave the antidote to them when she was talking, so they were all fine now. Seeing the man-eating flower king, Hibo was shocked. Siyu jumped up in shock and jumped to Hua Hua's side saying, So you're the man-eating flower king. I've only seen it in books. I didn't expect to see it in real life today. Hua Hua used her mind, and those Hua Hua slowly shrunk. Then, those vines all retracted back into her arms. Hey, don't be in such a hurry. Let me see your vines again. Siyu grabbed Hua Hua's hand and said. Hua Hua was shocked by Siyu's agitation. She immediately shrank to Sima Yue's side. Are you afraid of me? Siyu was shocked. Not afraid, Sima Yue said. Hua Hua isn't used to outsiders touching her. She's afraid that she won't be able to control herself and will hurt you. That means that she's not afraid of me. She's disgusted with me, Siyu said dejectedly. You could say that, Sima Yue added in her heart. She went up and kept those array stones. This way, the courtyard looked no different from last night. Oh, one night passed just like that. Siyu stretched lazily. I thought there would be a huge battle last night. I didn't expect you to settle it so easily. Seeing you like this, you seem rather bored, Sima Yue said. I'm not bored, Siyu smiled. If we didn't hear these people on the streets saying that they were going to rape you, we wouldn't have followed them. We wouldn't have eaten such delicious barbecued meat and fruit wine. I miss Siyu. Zhang Peng brought people in from outside. He subconsciously looked at the courtyard but didn't see any traces of blood. I heard that someone tried to do something to you here. Are you all right? Sima Yue's heart skipped a beat. Oh no, she was going to be exposed. Chapter 1324. It wasn't that Sima Yue and the others didn't expect those people to appear so early, but now wasn't the time to think about it. As long as Siyu opened her mouth, her identity would be exposed. Di Wu and Musi looked at Siyu nervously, praying that she wouldn't speak. Miss Siyu, are you all right? Zhang Ping looked at Sima Yue and asked. Sima Yue glanced at Siyu. Although Siyu's eyes were filled with shock, she didn't say anything. This made Sima Yue more confident. I'm fine. I just couldn't sleep last night because of some mosquitoes. She turned to Zhang Peng and asked, Why are you here? I heard the news early this morning that some people have bad intentions towards you. I was worried about your safety, so I came over to take a look. It's good that you're all right. Zhang Peng said. This is? She is. I'm her sister Siqin. Siyu took the initiative to introduce. I received news that my younger sister came to the south of the city, so I came to look for her. So you're also the young mistress of the C family. Nice to meet you, Zhang Peng said. Nice to meet you. Siyu replied. Little sister, father told me to bring people to protect you. We can't be so carefree anymore. You won't reject father's intentions, right? Sima Yuyue's mouth twitched. What was this Missy trying to do? She subconsciously glanced at River Earl. Aren't you going to control your miss? Nevertheless, River Earl was taking a nap with his eyes slightly narrowed. Miss loved to play. Except for dangerous situations. River Earl wouldn't care about what she wanted to do. This was also the reason why out of so many people, Miss was only willing to bring him along. Little sister, if you don't let me follow you and insist on chasing me back, the next one to come will be father. Why do you want father to call you back? Siyu winked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue gritted her teeth. It was a blatant threat. However, Zhang Peng was present, so she couldn't refute. She could only nod and say, if you want to stay, then stay. There are so many bad people outside. With me here, you'll be much safer. Siyu said pointedly. Zhang Peng thought she was talking about what happened last night. He wondered how much they knew about it. Miss C, I still have to investigate young Master Zhang Shua's murderer, so I'll take my leave first. After saying that, he cupped his hands at the crowd and led his men out. They walked for a long time before Zhang Peng stopped and looked back at Musi's house. Leader, none of the people who went in last night came out. A guard beside him said. And there was no sound at all. We didn't find any traces of blood when we went in just now. To be able to quietly dispose of so many experts, it seems like there are indeed experts protecting them inside. Zhang Peng said. They had also unintentionally found out that a group of perverts had set their sights on Sima Yue last night. Hence, they wanted to use this opportunity to test if Sima Yue was protected by an expert. At the end of the day, they were still suspicious of her. However, they did not expect that she would only use an array and poison to knock everyone out. There were no guards hidden in the dark at all. So many experts disappeared without a sound. Hence, it was best not to provoke a professional master, especially one with offensive abilities like an array master or a poison master. Since the results were similar to what they expected, there was no need for them to waste their energy here. Let's go. He led his men and left. He had truly given up on the idea of testing Sima Yue. In the courtyard, after Zhang Peng and the rest left, Siyu circled Sima Yue twice and said, no wonder you all reacted so strangely when you found out my name last night. So you've been impersonating my name. Tell me, what's going on? Actually, it's a coincidence. Sima Yue shrugged. Yesterday morning, when Zhang Peng brought his men over, he found out that I was with Mu Si. Mu Si was also implicated in Zhang Shua's murder, so he interrogated me. I thought that the north of the city was far from the south, so I made up a story and said that I was from the C family in the north of the city. Who knew that there really was a C family in the north of the city, and there really was a young miss from the C family who came out to play. What was even more unexpected was that you all actually came here. When Siyu heard this, she was stunned for a moment before laughing out loud. Ha ha. Oh my god, there's actually such a coincidence. The probability of this happening is too small. I also thought that it was almost impossible. Sima Yue said. But didn't it happen? She sighed in her heart. If she used Siyu's name to do something earth-shattering, she would be fine if the main character came knocking on her door. But this kind of direct encounter was really rare. But we also didn't expect that there really was a C family in the north of the city. The C family really did have a young miss who was low-key and playful. She added. I can roughly guess that you used the first and last words of your name, so it became my name. Siyu wasn't angry at Sima Yue for impersonating her. But why didn't you tell him your name? Is there some unspeakable secret? I have many secrets, Sima Yue said. Really? I love digging up other people's secrets, Siyu said. Xiao Mu Mu, do you still have a room here? Are you really going to stay? Sima Yue asked. Didn't we agree just now? You said it was up to me. Siyu looked at her as if she dared to go back on her words. But we just met. Aren't you afraid that I'm a bad person? If I do something bad, I'll drag you down with me? Sima Yue said. Really? You want to do something bad? Siyu looked at her with sparkling eyes. Sima Yue saw that she wasn't worried or afraid, but excited and excited. She asked instinctively, What do you want to do? Nothing, I'm just asking. Siyu went forward and hugged Sima Yue's shoulders, giggling. Yue, I realize that you're my type. I like people who have secrets and like to do bad things. You don't even know my identity and what I want to do. Aren't you afraid that I'll harm you? Sima Yue asked. No, this is more exciting. Siyu didn't mind at all. She liked it. Sima Yue looked at Hebo, hoping that he would persuade Siyu, but that old man was still the same. He didn't seem to have any intention of objecting. Anyway, he supported whatever Miss liked to play. You don't have to be like this. It's good to have me around, Siyu said. If something happens, you can still rely on Siyu, right? I want to think that way, but I'm afraid that I won't be able to rely on this big tree. Instead, I'll be dragging myself into the pit. Sima Yue said her thoughts honestly. Reading background default settings: classic light blue, classic light gray, classic green, classic bright yellow, dark blue, ocean, autumn, abundant green, classic, elegant red, powder, aristocratic, family, red, talk, thick, sea, vast, sky, broken heart, past, snow, white, world, gray, world, font color default settings: white, red, green, blue, brown, font size default settings: small, medium, large, speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0, mouse scrolling explanation. 1 to 10, 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 13:25. When Siyu heard her say that, she giggled and said, Don't say that. I won't cause you any trouble. I just want to see how you're going to play. Please search to see the most complete. It's the fastest. Sima Yue couldn't help but roll her eyes at her, thinking, Look at River Earl, you can tell how untrustworthy you are. I'm very grateful that you didn't expose me today, but I really have something to do. Don't worry. I promise I won't reveal anything about you. Siyu patted her chest. I don't think you even believe your own words, Sima Yue said. That's not it. I'm actually a very reliable person. As long as I promise that I won't tell anyone, I won't, Siyu said. Sima Yue actually wanted to say that they weren't close, but the fact that she had accidentally used Sima Yue's identity was her weakness. If Sima Yue really told others about it, it would definitely affect her. Now that she couldn't leave the city, it was really, You really want to go with me? Yes. If I find that it's not fun, I'll leave and continue to lend you my identity. How is it? Not bad, right? Siyu looked as if she had taken advantage of her. It's not bad, Sima Yue said. But if you really want to follow me, you have to listen to me. If you can't do it, then you have to leave now. Little sister, you're really heartless. How can you say that you want me to leave so easily? You really hurt big sister's heart. Is this your room? I'll be staying with you from now on, Siyu said as she entered Sima Yue's room. In this way, he tacitly agreed with her words. Diwu and Musi looked at her. Did she really agree to let Siyu follow them? Sima Yue shrugged helplessly. Do you think we can chase them away? After this night of interaction, they roughly understood Siyu's temper. She was easy to get along with, but that was only if you followed her wishes. But if you don't go along with her, she will let you experience what it means to be an unruly young lady. But if she follows us, won't she hinder our plans? Diwu said. I hope not, Sima Yue said. She didn't have much confidence in having such an uncertain factor by her side, but she had always been a person who would deal with whatever came her way. If Siyu wanted to cause trouble, she wouldn't be soft-hearted. No matter what happened, nothing could stop her from saving her father. All right, you've been up all night. Musi, eat something and rest. She only made a simple breakfast. Siyu's nose was better than Diwu's when it came to food. She came out the moment she smelled the fragrance. Wow, I didn't expect to have breakfast. She sat in front of the dining table and looked at the simple yet sumptuous breakfast on the table. She said, Xiaomumu, you're so lucky to have someone willing to make soup for you to wash your hands. Go away. What are you talking about? Sima Yue rolled her eyes. She could not simply say that she was washing her hands to make soup. Little sister, You're so free to make breakfast so early in the morning. Siyu said. Xiao Mumu hasn't reached the stage where she can't eat. She has to eat 3 meals a day. Sima Yue said. What's your plan after breakfast? Siyu asked. Let Musi rest, I'll go out for a walk. Sima Yue sat down to eat after she finished cooking. I'll bring you out for a walk. I've been here for a while, so I know a little about this place. Siyu volunteered to be the tour guide. Sima Yue looked at her in confusion. This fellow was so kind to bring her out? Don't look at me like that. Siyu continued. I'm just curious about you, but you do need to go out for a walk. Since I'm more familiar with this place, I can be your tour guide. Up to you, Sima Yue said. Then it's decided. After breakfast, Mu Si went to sleep while the others went out. Sima Yue and Siyu walked in front while Hebo and Diwu walked behind. It seemed like Siyu wasn't lying. She did know a little about this place, at least she was more familiar with it than her. But to Mu Si, who had been on the street since he was young, she was far behind. After they walked for a while, Siyu suddenly said mysteriously, I'll bring you to a place. Where to? You'll know when we get there. Siyu said. Sima Yue followed Siyu to the mysterious place. The more she walked, the more familiar the building was. Finally, she recognized where it was. Why did you bring me to the forbidden area? You know about the forbidden area? Siyu continued. I heard that there are treasures here, so I came to take a look. Didn't you say that it's because of the chaos in the forbidden area that the city is sealed? Maybe we can help you get out earlier after we figure this place out. Actually, I'm a little confused. Why would the forbidden area prohibit people from going out? Sima Yue asked. I heard someone in my family mention it once. Siyu continued. It seems like there's a lifeline below the forbidden area that affects the entire ghost city. If this lifeline is broken, the entire ghost city will cease to exist. It's that important. Sima Yue was a little surprised. She thought that this was just an ordinary forbidden area with some kind of treasure hidden inside. That's right. I don't know what happened in the past few years, but it seems like there's always something happening in the forbidden area. My father and the rest came here many times. Siyu said. Then do you know what caused it? Sima Yue asked. That's not right. Isn't Ghost City in midair? There's nothing below. It's Qi. Siyu continued. Because of the support of Qi, that's why Ghost City exists. So I'm guessing that this lifeline will affect the Qi. But it's weird. It was fine before. Why is it so chaotic recently? Then you'll know when you go and check it out. Sima Yue said. What do you mean by check it out? You're not coming with me? I still have things to do. Sima Yue continued. Moreover, this ghost city has nothing to do with me. I don't want to take the risk and go to such a place. After she finished speaking, she wanted to go back. Her purpose of coming here was to find her father. If she got involved because of this, she would lose more than she gained. Aren't you curious at all? Siyu asked. Curiosity depends on the situation. Sima Yue continued. Haven't you heard of the saying, curiosity killed the cat? You can't say that. Siyu continued. If you're not curious about anything in life, then what's the point of living? If you're still interested in this place after I'm done with my things, I'll come with you. Sima Yue said. Suddenly, she felt a movement in her little realm. Once she connected, she realized that it was caused by Xiao Tong. This book came from Chapter 1326. Because Hebo was there, Sima Yue didn't contact the inside immediately. Instead, she returned to Mu Si's house. Although Siyu was very interested in the forbidden grounds, she didn't enter rashly. She still needed a few more days to do so. When they went back, it was already half-night. Mu Si was still waiting for them to come back with the lights on. Why aren't you asleep yet? Sima Yue asked. Waiting for you. Mu Si said. Have you eaten? I went out to buy something to eat. Mu Si said. What he didn't say was that after eating the food she made for the past 2 days, it tasted really bad. However, he wasn't the kind of person who would forget the hardships of the past after living a good life. Although those big steamed buns tasted bad, he still ate them all. Go and rest then, Sima Yue said. How was your spin today? It was rare for Musi to take the initiative to ask about her situation. It meant that he had gradually accepted her after getting along with her for the past 2 days. It's all right. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to rest first. With that, she went back to her room. Before Siyu came in, she contacted the people in the little realm. Little Tong, what's wrong? Big sister Yue, did you come into contact with someone or go somewhere? Xiao Tong asked. Yes, what's wrong? Today, I had a feeling that I could sense your father's aura. Little Tu said. Either you're close to where your father is, or you've met someone related to him. This person, like Mu Si, will affect you. You mean, Siyu? Sima Yue asked. I don't know her name, but there must be something related to your father today, Xiao Tong said. I did get to know a young lady from a big family. Don't call it a special place today. It's that forbidden area. Sima Yue said. That forbidden area has always been there. Father shouldn't have anything to do with it. Then it's Siyu? This meant that she really had to keep Siyu by her side? That's very likely, Little Helper said. It's a pity that I'm not as good as Master. I can clearly calculate what it is. You're already very powerful. Thank you, Sima Yue said gratefully. By the way, Sister Yue, Wu Lingyu's condition isn't too good. He didn't want us to tell you, but I still think it's better to let you know. What's wrong with him? Sima Yue became nervous. I can feel his power disappearing, Little Child said. How is his health? My body is fine, Little Helper said. Sima Yue heaved a sigh of relief and said, Okay, I got it. Thank you, Xiao Tong. Yue, are you alright? When are you letting us out? Sima Lufeng asked. Uncle Flowing Wind, you're not dark spirit masters, so you'll attract a lot of attention if you come out. I'm still investigating my father. When I find him, I'll let you out. Alright, Siyu is coming in. Let's talk later. Sima Yue cut off the connection after she finished speaking, so that she wouldn't have to answer them. When Siyu entered, she happened to see Sima Yue open her eyes and said, Did I disturb your meditation? You didn't. I'm just a little tired, so I had to rest for a while, Sima Yue said. That's true. I didn't rest last night, and went out for a whole day today. Siyu waved her hand and a bed appeared by the wall, facing Sima Yue's bed. It was a good thing that this room was big enough. It was a good thing that other than Sima Yue's bed, there was nothing else. If not, it would be impossible to place 2 beds. Siyu washed up and climbed onto her own bed. She didn't look like she was sprawled out on all fours. It's really hard to have sex with everyone when you're like this. Sima Yue maintained her cross-legged position with both hands casually placed on her knees. Siyu turned sideways and supported her head with one hand, saying, My father also said that I don't look proper. But my mother passed away not long after giving birth to me. I'm the only daughter and the rest are all sons, so he treasures me very much. Every time he says it, I'll just let it pass. Then you must be very happy, Sima Yue said. How do you know? Because although you're a little, but your eyes are filled with happiness. There's no sadness, which means that you're living a very happy life. Sima Yue said, and I have a few older brothers, so I know how it feels to be the youngest and only sister. Really? Siyu blinked. Then where are your brothers? Why aren't they with you? They're not here, Sima Yue said. Oh, I remember now. You're not from Ghost City, right? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Why did she talk about this? When we were in the Forbidden Grounds today, you said that the Forbidden Grounds and Ghost City's matters had nothing to do with you. You're not worried about these things at all. You're definitely not from Ghost City, Siyu said with certainty, and you used an alias and stole your identity, which means that you just came here. You don't want others to find out about your identity. Sima Yue smiled and did not reply. I guess correctly. You're very good at analyzing things, Sima Yue admitted. Then why did you come to Ghost City? To the Ghost Realm? Sima Yue hesitated whether she should tell her about herself. But Siyu took her silence as a yes. I say, you're not really going to the Ghost Realm, are you? Siyu sat up, saying, You should go back and use other methods to go to the Ghost Realm. Don't pass through here, it's too dangerous. I've seen it with my own eyes before. Some people wanted to go to the ghost realm, some from the ghost clan wanted to go to the human realm, but they were all buried in the lightning tribulation. None of them survived. You're still so young, don't lose your life for nothing. I'm serious. Siyu said. This lightning tribulation is not so easy to pass. It's our nemesis. It's much harder for us to pass the lightning tribulation than for those light attribute spirit masters. Even they don't dare to try, you should just not go. Sima Yue saw that she was anxious and spoke faster. She smiled and said, Don't worry, I didn't say that I wanted to go to the ghost realm. Didn't you want to pass through here to go to the ghost realm? Siyu asked. I can't go to the ghost realm now, Sima Yue said. I'm here to look for someone. Look for someone? My father came here a few decades ago. Now his whereabouts are unknown. I was told that my father is here, so I came here. That's why I came. Sima Yue said. So you're here to look for your father? Siyu heaved a sigh of relief, saying, Who's your father? When did he come here? What did he come here for? He should be passing by, but he didn't go over. He should still be here. Then you'll be hard to find. Siyu said, Ghost City is so big. Without any clues, it'll be harder than finding a needle in a haystack. Do you have any clues about him? Yes. What is it? Sunset Mountain. Siyu was shocked. She looked at her and said in disbelief, What did you say? Chapter 13:27. It was Sima Yue's first time seeing Siyu so surprised she asked, What's wrong with Mushan? How do you know about Mushan? Siyu asked. I heard it from someone else. Sima Yue continued. Is there anything wrong with Mushan? Of course there's something wrong. Mushan isn't a place where ordinary people can go, let alone live there. Siyu continued. I heard that it's related to the survival of Ghost City and there's an almighty guarding it. How did your father get involved with that place? Most people don't even know about that place because those who went there were killed. Then how did you know? Sima Yue didn't expect Mushan to be so mysterious. How did her father get involved with that place? If it wasn't because our family has a good relationship with Ant-Man, and she dotes on me a lot, I wouldn't know about Mushan. Siyu said. Sima Yue knew that Ant-Man should be the city's North manager, Wu Man. As the city's North manager and the old witch's right-hand man, Wu Man definitely knew about Mushan. No wonder Siyu knew about it. Yue, where did you hear about Mushan? Don't tell me your father is in Mushan? I have an uncle. He said he went to Mushan to save my father. So I think he should be there. Sima Yue said. At the same time, her heart sank. She had her father's life token, so she knew that her father was still alive. But what about Mu Lianjie? He went to that place and didn't come back for so many years. Was he still alive? If he wasn't around and Mu Si was still so young, what would he do in the future? If your father is really there, it won't be easy for you to save him. Siyu continued. No, I should say, if your father is there, are you sure he's still alive? Sima Yue took out Sima Lu Xian's life token. Siyu could tell at a glance. Although it's full of cracks, he's not dead. Is this your father's life token? Yeah. How long has it been? It's been a few decades. It hasn't been repaired and it's not completely broken. Sima Yue said. Puffed. Siyu burst out laughing. A few decades? You're saying that your father has been injured for decades and hasn't died yet? Yes. Then your father is a god. What's your father like? Siyu asked with a face full of worship. Being injured for dozens of years without dying was not something an ordinary person could do. I don't have any impression of my father either. He sent me to this family not long after I was born. Sima Yue said. So those brothers of yours aren't your real brothers? That's right. Although I'm not their biological child, they all love me very much. In the past, when I couldn't cultivate and was called trash by others, they would help me beat those people up. They couldn't bear to see me suffer. Thinking of her brothers, a happy smile appeared on her face. Seems like your brothers really dote on you, Siyu said, but speaking of which, how do you plan to save your father? I need to find out if he's at Sunset Mountain. If he's not there, I won't be able to find him even if I go. Sima Yue said. Yes, I'll go after confirming it. Don't go to Sunset Mountain if you can. Siyu said. For someone as curious as me, I don't even want to go there. You can tell how dangerous that place is. I understand. Sima Yue said. What she didn't say was that no matter if her father was there or not, she might have to go to Sunset Mountain because Mu Lianjia went there to save her father and didn't come back. Of course, this wasn't absolute. When the time comes, it would depend on the situation. She couldn't just blindly throw her life away. However, she still felt that the possibility of her father being there was higher. You go ahead and check. Sima Yue saw Siyu's eyes darting around restlessly. She didn't know what she was thinking of. She wanted to ask Siyu if she knew about her father, but thinking about what Mu Si said before, she couldn't trust Siyu completely. In the end, she gave up. However, she didn't know where to start investigating. It was a little troublesome. She had too few clues in her hands. There was only Sunset Mountain, and her father's name was a taboo. There was nothing else. How was she going to find her father? That's not right. Since her father's name was a taboo, he must have done something. It must not be a small matter. Otherwise, it wouldn't be like this. Since it was like this, many people should know about him. As long as she found the right person, she would definitely be able to find out about her father. After thinking about this, she also thought about what she should do next. You rest first. I'll go out for a while, she said to Siyu and got off the bed. Where are you going? I want to go too. Siyu jumped off the bed and followed behind her. I'm going to the outhouse. I'm going too. 10 minutes later, she looked at Siyu who came out with her and sighed speechlessly. In Siyu's words, it would be great if I followed you. With me around, I can help you come up with ideas. You want to save your father, right? I'll help you. Sima Yue thought about what Xiao Tong said. She also wanted to see if Siyu had anything to do with saving her father, so she agreed to bring her along. Where are we going now? Siyu asked. I'm going to find someone to ask. Sima Yue suddenly stopped in her tracks. If they were there when she went to find someone to ask, wouldn't her matter be exposed? What's wrong? Sima Yue was conflicted. Should she bring her along? Who are you going to find? Siyu asked. Is it something I can't know? It's about my father. I can't let you know either. Sima Yue was silent for a while before admitting. Oh, I understand. You're worried about me, right? Siyu pouted. I really want to help you. But it seems like I haven't gained your trust. This was the first time Sima Yue met someone so direct. She was so direct that she didn't know how to reply. If it's about my father, I have to be careful. I understand. Siyu waved her hand, indicating that she understood. But even though she understood, she still felt uncomfortable. This girl clearly gave people a sense of closeness, but why was she so guarded against her? But the more Sima Yue acted like this, the more she wanted to know what she was going to do. Her heart felt like it was being scratched by a cat. Since you're so worried, how about this? I'll make an oath. Siyu didn't wait for others to react and immediately said, no matter what I know about your father, I won't say a word. Otherwise, I'll go to hell and never come out. Chapter 1328. Siyu was so fast that Hebo, who was behind her, could not stop her in time. Miss! When he heard her oath, he wanted to stop her, but he could only watch as the light of the oath flashed into her chest. Miss, why are you? River Earl regretted so much. He truly shouldn't have let the miss do whatever she wanted. She had just casually made a vow like this. What if someone took advantage of her? Sima Yue was also very surprised. How could this guy swear an oath just like that? How is it? I've already made the oath. Can you tell me now? Siyu said. Sima Yue sighed and said, why are you doing this? Who asked you to pique my interest? Siyu said, I'm not someone who's really interested in people. You're to my liking. And I believe that you won't use this to do anything to me. All right, let's not dwell on this matter anymore. Tell me, who are you looking for? I don't know either. Sima Yue said. You don't know? Do you know Sima Luxian? Sima Yue asked. It's him? Siyu looked at Sima Yue in surprise, then she suddenly realized. Yes, you're Sima Yue and he's Sima Lu Xian. Both of your surnames are Sima. I didn't think of this before. It's normal that you didn't think of it. Hebo rarely spoke. The name Sima Lu Xian is a taboo here. No one has mentioned it for decades. You know my father too? Of course I know. Siyu said. Your father is famous. So you know what happened to my father? Sima Yue looked at her expectantly. If she knew, then he wouldn't have to look for her. I know what happened in the beginning, but not many people know what happened after that. Siyu said. No wonder your father is so powerful. It's not surprising at all if it's him. Front and back. That's right. Siyu said. After your father came to Ghost City, he did a few big things. He seemed to have been to the Forbidden Grounds. After that, the old witch took a fancy to him and wanted him to stay. However, he said that he wanted to go to the ghost realm. We don't know what happened after that. I thought he had already gone to the ghost realm. I didn't expect him to still be here. Old witch. Diwu looked at them. It's the Ghost City's city lord. Sima Yue said. Musi mentioned it before. Oh, I remember now. You only cared about eating. Oh, I remember now. It's that woman who has lived for over 1,000 years. Miss, your father has actually caught the eye of that old demonic woman. TSK. His charm is really great. Could he have already submitted to that old demonic woman and stayed here to be the city lord's husband? Diwu chuckled. Sima Yue's face turned black. She twisted Diwu's ear and said, My father belongs to my mother. He won't follow that old witch. You idiot. If my father had married that old witch, would he still be injured for decades? Ugh, that's true. Diwu pulled his ear hard, trying to avoid her evil claws. If you dare to talk nonsense about my father again, I'll cut off your tongue and roast it. Sima Yue let go of him. Diwu rubbed his ear and quickly promised, Got it. Sima Yue then let him go and said to Siyu, Siyu, since you know about my father, can you tell me about it? Maybe I can find some clues. I can, but I feel that you better not have any hope. This might not be of much help to you in finding your father. Siyu said. Why? Because what happened after that is confidential. Siyu hooked onto Sima Yue's shoulder and said with a mysterious look, I'll tell you a secret. Ant-Man likes your father too, and was planning something previously. She's so mysterious. I don't know if it's related to your father. According to my conjecture, Ant-Man knows what happened after that. Maybe my father knows too, but he didn't tell me. Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Her father's luck with women was really good. If that's the case, it's best to find your father, and the rest if I want to know. But will they tell me? Sima Yue asked. This they should. Siyu wasn't sure. She had asked her father before, but she was reprimanded by him. He told her not to mention this name, and didn't say anything else. However, if his biological daughter were to ask, her father might tell her. Then let's not delay any longer. Let's go find your father. Sima Yue said. We're going back now. Siyu didn't really want to go back, but seeing how anxious Sima Yue was, she could only sigh and said, All right, we'll go back first. But I don't know if my father will still let me out to play this time. Sai, let's go. Boom. Just as they were about to leave, a terrifying force exploded from the Forbidden Grounds. It spread out from the center of the Forbidden Grounds, but it was trapped by the enchantment outside the Forbidden Grounds. Hebo saw it and shouted, Not good. The Forbidden Grounds are rioting. Miss, let's leave this place quickly. The Forbidden Grounds are rioting? Siyu heard it and her face changed. She grabbed Sima Yue's hand. Let's leave this place quickly. What's going on? Sima Yue looked at the surging force above the Forbidden Grounds. It was like a wild beast that had been locked up for a long time. It attacked the enchantment wantonly. I don't have time to explain it to you, but there was a riot in the Forbidden Grounds 10,000 years ago. It's said that many people died. We're so close to the Forbidden Grounds, we have to leave quickly. Siyu said. You guys leave first. Sima Yue took her hand from Siyu's hand and turned to fly back. What are you doing? Siyu shouted. Musi is still at home. Sima Yue replied without turning her head. See, you didn't expect her to think of Mu Si at this time. Her eyes flickered. After hesitating for a few seconds, she ran back with her. Miss, Hebo wanted to stop them. Anyway, we don't have much time, Siyu said. They returned to Mu Si's broken little house. Mu Si had already woken up because of the earth-shattering commotion. His face turned pale when he saw the commotion at the Forbidden Grounds. He heard his father mention about the Forbidden Grounds rioting before. He knew what it was. Thinking of his ability, he knew he couldn't run away. Yue. He went to Sima Yue's room. There was no one in the empty room. Diwu wasn't there, Hebo wasn't there, Sima Yue and Siyu weren't there either. They must have left without him knowing. He laughed at himself. Didn't he know when he woke up and didn't see Diwu? He looked at the black aura above the Forbidden Grounds and felt hopeless. Why did his heart hurt when he realized he was abandoned at this time? Mu Si. Suddenly, an anxious voice called out to him. His body shook as he fell into despair. He stared blankly at the person who flew over from afar. Under the eaves revision notice. Under the eaves will be revised into a sub-column under the eaves. The front page of Under the Eaves will be revised on 6:15. Read from 6:15. The revised front page, navigation bar, long story. Enter the board, the current front page. The address of the board's front page changed to Chapter 1329. Mu Si thought that he was hallucinating. They had already left. How could they appear again? However, that call was so clear in his ears, and her figure was so deeply imprinted in his mind. They had only known each other for 2 or 3 days. Why would she risk her life to come back and look for him? Mu Si, how are you? Are you all right? Sima Yue came to Mu Si and asked when she saw him in a daze. Why did you come back? Mu Si asked. I went out to settle some matters and came back when I saw the riot in the forbidden area. Sima Yue said. Let's leave this place quickly. Didn't you leave me behind? Leave you behind. Sima Yue was stunned for a moment before she smiled and said, Don't worry, I won't leave you alone before I find your father. If we find your father, we'll give you to him. If I can't find it, I'll take you with me. Mu Si looked at the smile on her face and raised the corners of his mouth. It was the first time he really smiled. She didn't abandon him. How nice. All right, stop wasting time. Let's leave this place quickly. Siyu rushed over and saw the two of them talking in the courtyard. Sima Yue grabbed Mu Si's hand and pulled him out, saying, Let's go. Mu Si followed Sima Yue and ran out. Looking at the hand that was grabbing his arm, his eyes suddenly became moist. Quickly get on the flying beast. Siyu called out her flying beast and called out to it. Sima Yue held onto Mu Si's waist and brought him onto the flying beast. Diwu and Hebo also flew up. Black Wan, go to the city wall and see if we can get out. Siyu said. Yes, master. Black Wan flapped its wings and flew towards the city wall. They were not too far away from the city wall, so this was the best way to get out of the city. They wanted to obtain this, and so did the others. Along the way, many people were like them, rushing towards the city walls. However, the final result disappointed them. They didn't know if it was due to the influence of the forbidden area, but an invisible force appeared on the city wall, preventing anyone from entering or leaving. What should we do? We can't get out. Heavens, are they trying to kill us? Don't give up. Let's try attacking it together. Let's see if we can create an opening to get out. All right. Sima Yue watched as those people attacked that place that was similar to a spirit barrier. However, no matter how much strength they used, it was as if their fists were hitting cotton. Should we try it together? Diwu asked. It's useless. River Earl said. Why? Our ancestors once left a rumor, saying that once this city is destroyed, in order to protect this space, a space crack will appear outside the city, separating the entire ghost city. River Earl said. So no matter who it is, they can't break it. In other words, if the forbidden area continues like this, we have no way out. Sima Yue said. Doesn't that mean it's useless for us to escape to any corner of the city? We can only survive if we settle the riot in the Forbidden Land? Diwu shrunk his neck. I'll give it a try. Sima Yue flew towards the city wall after speaking. She called Little Roar out to fuse with her when no one was paying attention. Not long after she arrived at the top of the city wall, she was blocked by a force. She could clearly feel that layer of ripple, but no matter how hard she and Little Roar tried, they couldn't get past it. Yu, this isn't a barrier, I can't get past it. Little Roar said. After trying a few times, she had no choice but to give up. She returned to Black Phoenix after fusing with it. Mississippi Diwu looked at Sima Yue worriedly. He knew that Sima Yue had the ability to pass through the barrier. Now that she couldn't get out, it meant that they were really trapped here. Sima Yue's face turned gloomy. She didn't know how to describe her feelings. She had only been here for 2 to 3 days and she already encountered such a thing. She didn't know if she was lucky or not. If she was lucky, why did she encounter such a thing when she just arrived? If she was unlucky, this place would have been completely destroyed if she came a few days later. Then she would never be able to find her father. Before she came, she said that Ghost City was chaotic and scary. She felt that this place was no different from other cities. Now it seemed that this place was really dangerous. Black Phoenix, let's go back to the north of the city as soon as possible. See, you ordered. The north of the city was the furthest away from here. It was less affected there. Sima Yue looked at the chaotic crowd, and then looked at the surging force above the forbidden area. Even if we reach the north of the city, it might not be of any use. We have to solve the root of this problem. What exactly is below the forbidden area? We don't know either. Siyu said. I know a little. Hebo said. Ghost City is a city that floats in mid-air. It exists because of the force below. Force? Is it like the force in the mines? Sima Yue asked. Yes. Hebo nodded. We don't know where this force came from. But every time there is a disturbance, it is related to this. I heard from the previous patriarch that this has something to do with a force that existed since the ancient times. Everyone looked like they didn't understand and didn't know what he was talking about. Sima Yue was extremely shocked. Every mine would form a potential when it was formed. Before opening the mountain, the potential must be released first. If the potential wasn't released before opening the mountain, then the entire mine would be destroyed, along with the people who were mining. Previously, when Kong Xiangyi had asked Third Mo for help, it was because they had discovered a mine that was too complicated. That was why she had asked him for help. If a force existed since the ancient times, it would be harder to deal with than other forces. And from the looks of it, the force must have some spirituality. I'll go to the forbidden area to take a look. See you, bring Mu Si to the north of the city. I'll look for you guys later. She said to Siyu. If I can't come back, please take care of him in the future. Siyu grabbed her arm instinctively. And no, you at the forbidden area is so dangerous now. Why are you going there? I'm going to see if I can help, Sima Yue said. That place is so dangerous now. What can you do to help? I have some understanding of forces. If this is really related to force, I might be able to help. I'll leave Mu Si to you. Sima Yue glanced at Mu Si and flew into the sky. I'll wait for you to come back. You promised to teach me about enchantments. You haven't done it yet. I'll wait for you. Mu Si shouted at her back. Sima Yue turned back and waved at him. Don't worry, I'll definitely look for you guys. After speaking, she turned and flew towards the forbidden area. Under the Eaves revision notice. Under the Eaves will be revised into a subsection Under the Eaves. The front page of Under the Eaves will be revised on 6/15. Read from 6/15. The revised front page navigation bar, long story. Enter the section, the current front page. The section's front page address changed to Chapter 1330. 3 days ago. Just when Sima Yue and Di Wu jumped down from the city wall, a group of people gathered at a huge plaza in the center of the Forbidden Land. This square was different from other squares. It was surrounded by 8,100-meter-tall black stone pillars. 4 pillars stood in 4 different directions of the square. Each stone pillar was carved with various ancient spirit beasts. At the center of the square was not a hard rock, but a huge pool. At this moment, the water-like liquid in the pool was moving restlessly. Above the pool, there was a semicircular ripple that wrapped the liquid in the pool, preventing it from moving out. Everyone in the square was paying attention to the movement of the pool, their faces full of worry. Why isn't this Wu man here yet? An old man shouted to the two people beside him. This old man was the previous patriarch of the Zhang family, one of the 4 stewards of Ghost City, Zhang Hao. Beside him was Luo Qi and Meng Sha, the manager of the east side of the city. Loki was more than 2 meters tall, and was much taller than the average person. With his beard he looked like a complete barbarian. The other one, Meng Sha, looked much gentler. However, his eyes were too cold. Just a glance from him would cause one to feel an endless chill. Zhang Hao Wu man needs some time to come from the north of the city. Luo Qi said. Is her mind still on managing Ghost City? Meng Sha said coldly. I'm afraid she doesn't have any thoughts about the survival of this city. Women who think men are all the same. Meng Sha, when will you stop talking with that mouth of yours? An enchanting woman appeared from the void and coldly glanced at him. The newcomer was wearing a fiery red dress that exposed her legs and held a red fan in her hand. Even her eyelashes were red. She glanced at the people present, and her charm was overwhelming. I'm really sorry, my mouth likes to speak the truth, Meng Sha said. We're all here, except for you. It's inevitable that everyone would think that way. One day, I will poison your mouth until you become mute, Wu man said. Enough. Look at the situation we're in right now. Why are you still talking nonsense? Zhang Hao stopped the two of them from continuing. If it was any other time they would have said it. However, the situation was different now. There was no time for them to bicker. Wu man came to the side of the pool and looked at the surging energy that was attacking the barrier. Some of it had even broken through the barrier and turned into black smoke. It wanted to rush out, but Wu man swatted it away with her fan. Why did it suddenly become so turbulent? My strength has also increased quite a bit. She casually fanned herself, every movement exuding a charming aura. Even her puzzled look was so alluring. It's probably caused by the commotion at Sunset Mountain, Zhang Hao said. Ever since that incident, the commotion here has become more frequent. Wu man's hand that was fanning herself paused for a moment. Then she returned to normal and said, this place is closely connected to Sunset Mountain. It is normal for there to be some influence. I think this seal is about to be broken. I'm afraid it won't last much longer, Luo Qi said. Have you informed the city lord? I can't contact the city lord. Others can't enter that place, Meng Sha said. If the city lord doesn't come back, I'm afraid this seal won't be able to suppress it, Zhang Hao said. Its strength has been growing. The people guarding here said that this power seems to have been nourished recently. Its strength is growing very quickly, Luo Qi added. Since we can't contact the city lord, then we can only suppress it for now. Then we can find the city lord and rearrange the seal, Wu man suggested. That's the only way now. Is everyone here? All the guards of the forbidden area are here, Zhang Hao said. Now we're just waiting for you to arrive. Then let's begin. Everyone get ready. Zhang Hao waved his hand. All the guards in the plaza stood in a circle around the pool. 81 people flew to the pillars. Wu man and the other 3 flew to the pillars in the 4 directions. Seal. With a command, everyone poured their spirit energy into the pool. The spirit energy was added to the seal's barrier. The barrier that was on the verge of collapse was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Roar dash, the power in the pool felt that the seal's strength was increasing. It churned even more fiercely, as if it was going to make a final struggle. The seal that had just been repaired was once again weakened by the impact. Again, we must suppress it, Zhang Hao said to everyone. Yes. Everyone once again mobilized their spirit energy, pouring it into the seal even stronger than before. They began to fight with the power inside. No, we can't suppress that power like this, Luo Qi said. Wu man, Zhang Hao called out. Bullying this old lady? Wu man scolded. She threw the fan in her hand into the air. That fan slowly grew in the air, until it was the size of the pool. The power in the pool seemed to be a bit afraid of this red fan. When this fan was pressed down in the air, its resistance clearly weakened by quite a bit. Now, Meng Sha shouted. Everyone simultaneously mobilized their spirit energy to the strongest. A portion of it was poured into the seal, while the rest attacked inside. Ong dash, a mournful and unwilling cry came from the pool. Then it slowly quieted down. The churning power slowly calmed down. Withdraw. Once Zhang Hao said this, everyone simultaneously withdrew their spirit energy. That was why no one was injured. However, everyone was very tired. Although the duration was not very long, only about an hour, everyone's spirit energy seemed to have been emptied. Everyone, eat some pills to recuperate, Zhang Hao said. All the guards were given pills. They ate the pills, then sat down and meditated to recover their spirit energy. Wu Man waved her hand. That fan returned to its original size and flew back into her hand. Although they had successfully suppressed the power they had obtained this time, their faces did not relax completely. Although we temporarily suppressed it, we don't know if it has really settled down. Luo Qi said. I can feel that it hasn't completely given up. It's just dormant. If it attacks, I'm afraid it will resist even more. Wu Man said worriedly. I can feel it too. Meng Sha said. That's why we can't leave this place for 2 days in case it suddenly attacks. That's the only way. If this power breaks out of the seal, I'm afraid we won't be able to resist. The entire city's people will be affected. Then should we tell them in advance and let them go out to hide? Luo Qi suggested. How do we tell them? Once they know, I'm afraid it will cause even more chaos. Zhang Hao said coldly. I agree. We'll observe a bit more. If it's really dangerous, it won't be too late to tell them, Meng Sha said. However, they did not expect that things would change so quickly. The danger would come so suddenly. Chapter 1331. The tranquility in the pool only lasted for 3 days. On the evening of the 3rd day, the force began to surge again. At first, the force wasn't very strong, and the liquid inside didn't move very much. Wu Man, Zhang Hao, Meng Sha, and Luo Qi stood at the edge of the pool. When they saw the boiling liquid, their hearts sank. This was much faster than they had expected. It's only been 2 days and it's starting again. Wu Man waved her red fan and fanned it into the pool from time to time, slowing down the movement of the liquid. Fortunately, everyone has more or less recovered. If it resists too much, we can only suppress it again. Zhang Hao said. I don't think so. Meng Sha looked at the liquid in the pool. A thin layer of black mist covered it. In the past it was all black mist, but now it's so thick that it's turned into liquid. This means that its power has grown too much. Look, isn't the color of the water a lot darker than 2 days ago? This power has increased again. That's right. Can't suppress it? Unless the city lord returns, Zhang Hao said. Only the city lord knows how to seal it. In the past, it would be sealed once every 100 years. But this time, several years have passed and she still hasn't returned. Is she really going to give up the entire ghost city for a man? Luo Qi said unhappily. If this thing really rushes out, this city will be destroyed. Wu Man's face was filled with worry. Haha, that's not bad either. It would be a very spectacular scene if the entire city were to die together. Meng Sha laughed loudly. As long as this thing rushes out, in order to protect this space, it will automatically separate Ghost City. No one will be able to leave, and everyone will die together. I can't believe you can still laugh. Zhang Hao glared at him. If that's really the case, then there will no longer be a ghost city at the border between the human and ghost worlds. What else can we do other than laugh? Meng Sha said. Don't tell me you still think that if it attacks with all its might, we can still hold on? Breaking the seal is only a matter of time. Even if we break through this, there's still the seal of the forbidden area. As long as we defend one, we will have a chance to suppress it, Luo Qi said. We've never seen the seal of the forbidden area before. We don't even know if it's useful. The others didn't respond to Meng Sha's words because they also had doubts about this. As time passed, the impact from the thing in the pool became stronger and stronger. Everyone had to use their spirit energy to suppress it again. However, this time it was useless against the power. It surged up from below like a volcanic eruption, attacking the seal above the pool again and again. Just as Siyu was swearing, the energy in the pool finally broke through the seal. A small crack appeared in the seal enchantment and black fog started to leak out from it. No, we can't hold on any longer. If we don't go out now, we'll all die here. Luo Qi shouted. We have to retreat quickly, Wu Man said to Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao also knew that the situation could no longer be contained. After a few seconds of silence, he shouted, Everyone, get out of the forbidden area. All of the guards stopped their attacks and retreated in unison. Wu Man and the other three also flew out. When they were retreating, which was when Siyu was swearing, a large amount of black fog appeared and quickly took over the plaza. When the black fog invaded, the 81 black pillars released a burst of light. The light connected and trapped the black fog in the plaza, buying time for everyone to leave. You want to imprison me with this little bit of power? Jiji. In the darkness, a dark and hollow voice sounded, causing endless fear to rise in the hearts of everyone who had just reached the plaza. Did it really become a spirit? Hong, the obstruction from the black pillars was quickly broken through by the energy, releasing an earth-shattering sound. At the same time, a thick enchantment lit up at the boundary of the forbidden area, blocking the energy inside. A few guards who were slightly slower were also isolated inside, and were quickly submerged by the black fog. They didn't even have time to cry out before they turned into a pile of white bones. What a strong power! Everyone looked at the surging black fog with lingering fear. Previously, there was the barrier of the seal, so they didn't directly come into contact with it. When it chased after them just now, they felt its strength. Luckily, there was the seal of the forbidden area. Otherwise, everyone in Ghost City would have died here today. The people in the city already felt the riot here. Their instincts told them how dangerous it was, so they all flew out of the city. This city is indeed in chaos. We can't leave even if we want to. Is there any way? Luo Qi asked. Wu Man, you used to be the closest to the city lord. Did she tell you about this? Why would she tell me this? Wu Man sneered. This is the guarantee for her to secure the city lord's position. Why would she tell me? That's true. Only the city lord knows about this. She wouldn't tell anyone else. Mengsha said. It was because of this that other people couldn't have thoughts of usurping the throne. Luckily, this seal is strong enough. Otherwise, it would have rushed out. But this won't last long. We have to suppress it back. The black fog in the seal became thicker and thicker, and the surging became more and more intense. From time to time, there would be a bone-chilling scream. Don't tell me we really don't have any other way? Luo Qi saw it attack the seal again and again. If this continued, it would come out of the seal sooner or later. We can use our spirit energy to reinforce the seal in the pool. This should work too. Wu Man said. Let's give it a try. Oi. The four managers flew above the forbidden area's seal, and kept injecting their spirit energy into it. However, because they had already used up a lot of it, it wasn't very useful to reinforce the seal. The thing inside attacked the place where they were reinforcing it. The four of them were pushed back by its power. The more it comes out, the stronger it gets. Luo Qi clutched his chest and spat out a mouthful of black blood. But we're outside now. We can't stop it from coming out. Wu Man used her blood fan to block it at the crucial moment. She was much better than Luo Qi. Someone's coming. Mengsha was facing Sima Yue. Because she was different from the others, he saw her at a glance. Everyone looked over and saw Sima Yue flying towards them. This person is interesting. Everyone is running for their lives, but she's rushing over to die. Mengsha wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said faintly. Chapter 1332. Sima Yue flew over and saw that everyone was looking at her. Before she could say anything, a terrifying aura came from inside the barrier. The aura passed through the barrier and spread outside. Wherever the aura went, Everyone who came into contact with it fell from the sky, including her and the 4 stewards. The ground was full of fallen people. Just a single strand of aura was unbearable. Just what kind of terrifying thing was inside? It hurts. Sima Yue rubbed her aching buttocks. She wanted to stand up, but her body went limp because of the aura. Woof woof woof. Get out. Get out. Xiaohei, who had sensed Sima Yue's aura, shouted in the spirit pagoda. Sima Yue recalled that the previous incident in Fair Eastern City was also resolved because of Little Black. At that time, it had the same reaction. Could it be the same this time? She called Little Black out. The moment Little Black came out, she felt that the terrifying aura had disappeared. Woof woof woof. Little Black wagged its tail and barked at Sima Yue. Then it turned around and ran towards the forbidden area. Little Hey, stop. Sima Yue pulled its tail. Woof woof woof. Little Black turned its head and barked at her. Little Black, you can't just go there. Sima Yue stood up with it in her arms. We don't know what that thing in the forbidden land is. It's too dangerous. Xiaohei blinked. She wasn't sure if it understood Sima Yue's words. Regardless, what it did next made her completely speechless. Woof woof woof, Blackie roared at the forbidden area, and everyone outside the forbidden area heard it. What was surprising was that after it howled, the aura completely retreated. He went back? Everyone was stunned. Even Zhang Hao and the rest were stunned as they stared blankly at Little Black, who was in Sima Yue's arms. What's going on? The people on the ground all got up. Those who were close to them knew that it was Little Black who did it. Those who were far away only heard a dog bark. Wu Man happened to land not far away from Sima Yue. She was also the first person to notice that Little Black was not an ordinary person. She looked at Little Black as if she was looking at a treasure. This is your spirit beast. Her eyes shone as she stared at Little Black. Sima Yue nodded. That thing inside is so afraid of it. Can you let it try and see if it can suppress it? Wu Man said. But Little Black doesn't have any attack power at all. Sima Yue hugged it. It's impossible for it to attack. No attack power? Wu Man took a closer look at Little Black. It was nestled in Sima Yue's arms. Indeed, there was no fluctuation of spiritual energy. Yeah, Xiaohei doesn't have any attack power. Sima Yue said with certainty. It doesn't matter if you don't have any attack power. Didn't it just roar back that thing's aura? Then let it roar a few more times. Wu Man said. The lives of the entire city are in its hands. Sima Yue thought about it and agreed. If the entire city was destroyed, she wouldn't be able to survive, much less find her father. Little Black, why don't you go and try? Sima Yue carried Little Black and said. Woof woof woof. Little Black wagged its tail at Sima Yue, indicating that it was willing to do so. How do we do this? Sima Yue didn't understand this, and could only ask Wu Man. Wu Man didn't know either. It was also her first time seeing a creature that could threaten that thing. She said with uncertainty, why don't we let it go up there and roar twice like it did just now? Okay. Sima Yue carried Little Black into the air, and approached the enchantment of the forbidden area. She realized that the moment they got close, the black fog inside retreated a little. Sima Yue didn't need to say anything. Little Black immediately roared when it saw the black fog. It had a feeling that its dignity was being challenged, and it came to seek revenge. The black fog that was still arrogant just now, when it heard Little Black's roar, its arrogance instantly disappeared and the rolling speed slowed down a lot. Wu Man saw that it really worked and heaved a sigh of relief. I wonder what kind of creature Little Black is? Even that thing is afraid of it? The others flew over and saw the situation in front of them. It could be said that they were stunned. What is this thing? It's actually so powerful? When Little Black heard someone say what it was, it angrily glared at that person. It scared him so much that he fell from the sky and almost died from the fall. That's this little girl's spirit beast. It doesn't have any attack power, but the thing inside seems to be afraid of it. Wu Man explained. Isn't this the little girl that flew over just now? Your spirit beast can actually suppress it. What spirit beast is it? Luo Qi asked. I don't know either. When I met it, it was already like this. Then I don't know why I signed a contract with it. It looks like a dog, but its intelligence isn't high and it can't speak. That's why I don't know what it is until now. Sima Yue made up stories one after another. Looking at her pure eyes, the others really believed her words. After all, there were so many strange and powerful creatures in the world. Some of them were like this and there was nothing strange about it. No matter what it is, since it has a deterrent effect on that thing, we might be able to make it go back inside. Zhang Hao said. Right now this is the only way. Little girl, give it a try. See if you can make this thing go back inside the forbidden area. Okay. Sima Yue nodded. She patted Little Black's head and said, Do you know what to do? Little Black blinked. Although it didn't know what to do, its instincts told it that it could do whatever it wanted. It was a natural king and no one dared to challenge its majesty. It came out from Sima Yue's arms and jumped on top of the ceiling barrier. Because of the barrier, it didn't fall down. Woof woof woof. It barked at the black fog a few times and the black fog really began to retreat. It actually worked. Seeing the black fog retreat with their own eyes, everyone was shocked. What followed was an uncontrollable ecstasy. It seemed like they were saved this time. When the black fog slowly retreated, the barrier no longer existed. Little Black didn't have any spiritual energy and couldn't fly. Once the barrier disappeared, it began to fall. Sima Yue was shocked. If it fell into the black fog, would it still be alive? She didn't think and chased after it. Before Little Black landed, she hugged it. She landed in the middle of the forbidden area. However, she also realized that where Little Black was, the black fog had all retreated. It seemed like it was afraid of it, and didn't have any intention of attacking them. When the people outside saw Sima Yue chasing into the black fog, they thought that she would die. They didn't expect the black fog to open up a path. This made them even more suspicious of her and Little Black's identities. To be continued. Chapter 1333. Little girl, go ahead. Please search to see the most complete. It's the fastest. Wu Man and the others didn't dare to approach her, and could only guide her from the air. Sima Yue nodded. She carried Xiaohei and walked in the direction they had mentioned. Every time she moved forward, the black fog would retreat a little, and the area it covered would decrease by a little. The originally chaotic city was now quiet. The aura that made them fear was weakening. Was the crisis over? They wanted to go to the forbidden area to watch. After Zhang Hao found out, he sent a patrol team to guard outside and forbade anyone from approaching the forbidden area. On Black Luan, Diwu and Musi looked over anxiously. Miss, please be safe. If anything happens to you, how am I going to explain to Master? Diwu looked like he was about to cry. No, she'll be fine. Musi said with certainty. She said she'll come back to find us, so she'll definitely come back. Although he spoke with certainty, his tightly clenched and trembling hands still revealed his worry and anxiety. Even Siyu couldn't remain calm as she said. We've only known each other for 2 days. Why am I already worried about her? This is different from before. Even Hebo felt that Siyu treated Sima Yue differently. If Sima Yue was a man, he would wonder if young Miss fell in love with her at first sight. But she was a girl through and through. Could it be that young Miss's sexual orientation had changed? I saw that she was very confident when she left. She should be fine. He persuaded his young mistress not to worry. Hebo, you said that Yue said that she has a better understanding of force. Does that mean that she is also a seeker spirit master? Siyu recalled how Sima Yue looked like before she left. Yes. She's also a formation master like me. TSK, a spirit master with multiple professions. Siyu sighed. A person like her must have been doted on by the heavens. She wouldn't have died so early. The fact that she used 2 affirmations in a row meant that she wasn't certain in her heart. It's a pity that I can't go closer. I wonder how young Miss is now. Diwu said worriedly. Get close? Siyu's eyes lit up. It's not that dangerous now. We can go closer to take a look. It was better than being anxious here. Black Wan, go over. Black Wan flapped its wings and flew towards the forbidden grounds. When it approached the forbidden grounds, it was stopped by the patrol team. Up ahead is a forbidden area. No one is allowed to approach. My little sister is inside. I have to go in and take a look, Siyu said with a straight face. Your younger sister? The guard obviously didn't believe him. Yeah. She just came over, Siyu said. She's wearing a long black dress and looks really pretty. You're not talking about the girl with the puppy, are you? Said the guard. A girl with a puppy? Siyu blinked. She could tell that he had a faint admiration for the person he mentioned. She didn't care if he was talking about Sima Yue and replied, Isn't it her? What's wrong with her? Was he injured? Aya, let me take a look at my younger sister. She's my family's treasure. If anything happens to her, I'll definitely ask Auntie Man to punish you. But the manager said that no one is allowed to get close. The patrol team still insisted. Am I like those people? My sister is inside, but is someone else's sister inside? Is she there? Siyu raised her voice, appearing very anxious and worried. But, no buts, just let me go over. If anything happens to my little sister, I'll just go with her. Siyu started crying as she spoke, her tears streaming down her face. Don't be anxious. Your little sister is very powerful. Nothing will happen to her. Do you still need to tell me how scary the things in this forbidden area are? My little sister is alone inside. How can I not be anxious? Siyu cried even harder as she spoke. But we can't break the rules. The patrol team looked at each other. They were in a difficult position. If it was an ordinary person, they would just chase them away. Although they didn't know Siyu's identity, they knew that she was from a large family. If they really caused a ruckus here, they wouldn't be able to answer to both sides. Luckily, the commotion here attracted the attention of those in the forbidden area. Wu Man saw the people causing a ruckus here and frowned, saying, Let them come over. When the patrol team heard this, they immediately moved to the side, saying, Please. Hailwan brought them to Wu Man's side. Siyu called out, Ant-Man, little sister? Why don't I know? When did your father have a daughter? Wu Man asked. Siyu flew to Wu Man's side and held her hand, saying, He Ant-Man, you know. Is it another friend you made outside? Wu Man turned her gaze to Sima Yue and praised her. You made a good friend this time. She's different from your bad friends in the past. Wu Man's voice wasn't loud. She didn't really want to question Siyu. The current situation didn't allow her to say much. Siyu followed her gaze and saw Sima Yue. When she saw Sima Yue alone in the forbidden area, she cried out, Ant-Man, why is she alone down there? It's so dangerous. Sima Yue heard her voice and turned back to take a look. Seeing that she was worried about her, she smiled at her and continued to walk forward. Based on the current situation, she's not in danger. Wu Man continued. The spirit beast in her embrace seems to be able to restrain this thing. Didn't you see that the black fog retreated a little when she walked forward? Siyu and Musi, who was on Hailwan's back, saw that it was indeed so. I didn't expect this girl to be so powerful. She said she had a way and she really did. Siyu smiled and said. Diwu wasn't surprised when he saw this. He had heard a lot about young Mississippi. In his heart, she was omnipotent. But believing was believing. He still had to see it with his own eyes before he could relax. Seems like you two are very close? Meng Sha would sometimes go to the north of the city to look for Wu Man. He knew her beloved niece. He was curious about Sima Yue's identity. If Siyu knew her, then he should know her identity. Not really, we've known each other for 2 days. Siyu laughed when she thought about how they knew each other. 2 days and she's your younger sister? Although Wu Man was grateful to Sima Yue, if she was someone who tried to curry favor with those in power, then her impression of her would drop. You're wrong, Ant-Man. She didn't want to be my younger sister. I wanted to be her elder sister. Siyu explained. This girl knew that I'm C family's young miss and didn't agree at first. I had to threaten and bribe her before she agreed. Speaking of this, she was rather proud. Wu Man wanted to say that she was fooling around again, but before she could finish, she was interrupted by a surprised voice. That thing is going back to the pond. To be continued. This book came from Chapter 1334. Everyone shifted their attention to Sima Yue. She had already walked past the streets and arrived at the square. However, after reaching this place, the black fog did not retreat. It was as if it was putting up a final resistance. Sima Yue could vaguely see the pool. All the black fog had retreated back into the pool. She guessed that the black fog must have come out from the pool. Little girl, chase it back into the pond. Zhang Hao ordered. Sima Yue pursed her lips. This person was really putting on airs to order people around? That tone of command really made people feel uncomfortable. Little Black seemed to be unhappy as well. It jumped out of her arms and sat there motionlessly. When it sat down, the people behind it were dumbfounded. They were about to rush back. So why did it stop? Little girl? This is? Sima Yue lowered her head and looked at Little Black. She knew that this fellow was unhappy. Little Black, why aren't you moving? Let's continue. Woof woof woof. Little Black barked at her and wagged its tail. It sat on the ground and refused to leave. Little girl, you're about to succeed. Don't drop the ball at the crucial moment. Zhang Hao said again. Sima Yue was even more unhappy. The more unhappy she was, the more unhappy Blackie was. It stood up and barked at Zhang Hao, then lay down facing them. He's still lying down? Are you throwing a tantrum? If it weren't for the fact that the timing wasn't right, everyone would have laughed out loud when they saw Little Black's expression. Little girl, time waits for no man. You'd better let. Before Zhang Hao could finish his words, Little Hay rolled its eyes at him and closed its eyes to sleep. Everyone was dumbfounded. Now they could see that Blackie was dissatisfied with Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao also saw it. His face immediately darkened. It was almost as dark as Little Hay's fur. However, he could not argue with the beast. He could only ask Sima Yue, who was standing at the side. Little girl, what's going on? I don't know either, Sima Yue said. Although I have a contract with it, I can't feel its thoughts. Maybe he's tired from forcing this thing here from the outside. Since she said that, Zhang Hao didn't want to force her anymore. Even the group of them were helpless against it, yet the other party forced it back. Could it be that they were slow? And he didn't even allow her to be tired for a while? However, everyone could tell that Little Black wasn't tired. It only cried out twice. How could it be tired? We're giving you a chance to deal with this matter, because we think highly of you. Don't be pretentious. A man said discontentedly. When Wu Man and Meng Sha heard this, they knew that something was wrong and could only glare at that person anxiously. Before they could say anything, they saw Sima Yue laugh coldly and say, since that's the case, then you can call it. Who knows, maybe once you call it, it will return to the pond. After saying that, she squatted down and carried Little Black back. Once she left, the result would be disastrous. The black fog spread over again, scaring the people who came down, and they quickly flew up into the air. Zhang Hu, if you don't speak, no one will think you're mute. Meng Sha scolded. The person called Zhang Hu wanted to refute, but when he saw everyone staring at him, he could only swallow the words in his heart. Little girl, don't be angry. Zhang Hu was just casually saying it. Zhang Hao said. Casually saying it? I don't think so. Sima Yue looked at Zhang Hao. Although everyone is locked up here, but I think, if I don't do anything and wait until everyone in the city is dead before I act, I won't lose a single strand of hair. Therefore, I can help or not help with this matter. It's not up to anyone to casually shout and criticize me. Just now this person also said that it's just a matter of calling out twice. I think he can do it too. There's no need for us here. I'll take my leave first. After saying that, she carried Little Black and was about to leave. At this moment, everyone looked at the Zhang family with disdain. Zhang Hao had obviously made the little girl unhappy just now, and now he was scolding her. If it were them, they would definitely leave. Little girl, don't be angry. Meng Sha cupped his hands towards Sima Yue. I'm not angry. It's just that my family's Little Black's strength is weak. I'm afraid he can't help you. Sima Yue sneered. Those who could appear in the forbidden area, other than the usual guards, were people with high status in Ghost City. When had they ever been treated like this? But Sima Yue was like this. They couldn't force her with a knife. Not only could they not, they had to treat her well, because all of their lives were in her hands. Isn't that so? My little sister said that Little Black doesn't have any spiritual energy and gets tired easily. To force such a scary thing to this extent, Little Black must be very tired. Siyu said, "Little sister, you must be very tired. Come over to sister." Many people from the northern part of the city recognized Siyu. Seeing that she called Sima Yu a little sister, they were puzzled. When did the Si family have another daughter? The Si family had noticed Siyu before, but she was by Wu Man's side, so no one came to find her. Now that they heard that Sima Yu was her little sister, the Si family couldn't react in time. "Father, when did little sister have a little sister? Why didn't we know? Don't tell me you brought her back from outside? Does mother know?" Siyu's third brother smiled and asked. Siyu's father, Si Konglian's face darkened. He glared at his son and said, "Your little sister is messing around and you're messing around too? That little girl should be someone that little sister met when she was playing outside. But it seems like little sister is quite protective of her," Si family's eldest brother said. "Why didn't he both send any news back? Who is this person?" Si family's second brother frowned. It better not be someone who used her identity as little sister to climb up the social ladder. Hebo didn't send any news back. Either little sister didn't let him, or they just met not long ago, Si family's eldest brother said. No matter what, little sister treats her differently. Sima Yue didn't expect Siyu to be so protective of her at this time. Seeing that she was speaking up for her, she nodded at her and carried Little Black over. "So this is Miss C. Miss C, your father is here too. If anything happens, they won't be able to escape." Meng Sha pointed at Si family's direction. Sima Yue looked over and saw a few people who looked similar to Siyu. "Aya, why are father and the rest here?" "Little sister, father is here. Don't be afraid. Come back and rest if you're tired." Siyu looked like she had found someone to back her up. Actually, these words were meant for the Si family to hear, so that they wouldn't be exposed. Chapter 1335. As expected, with Siyu's hint, the Si family didn't reveal that Sima Yue wasn't part of the Si family. Sima Yue carried Xiaohei back to Siyu's side. Siyu grabbed her and checked her carefully. She only let her go after confirming that she wasn't injured. In the eyes of others, this scene really looked like an elder sister showing concern for her younger sister. "Little sister, are you all right?" Siyu patted her shoulder and winked at her. "I'm fine." Sima Yue understood what she was trying to say. She was trying to say that she had helped her out. She had better not expose her. Although she didn't know what method Siyu used to make the Si family remain silent, she remembered how Siyu said that the whole family doted on her. She thought that they wouldn't embarrass her in public. How could he be fine? Siyu's heart ached as she said. "It was so dangerous just now. If it wasn't for you, who knows how many people would have died. Step by step, you forced this thing back here. How much effort did you expend? He must be exhausted." Sima Yue pursed her lips. This Siyu really didn't know how to lie. She just blurted it out casually. However, her words were like a slap to the Zhang family's face, making them blush. "So it's the young miss of the Si family. I heard that the Si family only has one small realm. How come there are two now?" Someone from the Zhang family was unhappy and jumped out to blame himself. "My father's goddaughter won't do," Siyu said. "Or should I say, my father needs your Zhang family's approval to have a goddaughter?" You what?" Siyu was unhappy when Zhang Hao ordered Sima Yue to work. She didn't expect two idiots to jump out one after another. Now, she was very unhappy with the Zhang family. Not only her, but everyone else as well. What kind of situation was this? Why did the Zhang clan still come out to play so many tricks? If they really offended Sima Yue, who would solve the problem at hand? Fortunately, although some of the black fog had returned, it did not cover the entire square. This also allowed the others to heave a sigh of relief. If this really caused that thing to counterattack, then the Zhang family would have committed a great sin. The Zhang family's faces were ugly. Sima Yue and Little Hei had gone on strike because of them. Now that everyone was criticizing them, they felt embarrassed. "Little sister, this is the Auntie Man that I told you about. You just came home and haven't met Auntie Man before?" Siyu introduced. Sima Yue blinked and looked at Siyu. Was this really alright? What if they were exposed? Siyu returned her gaze. Don't worry, it won't happen. As expected, before she could say anything, Wu Man spoke first. I did hear that Big Brother C adopted a daughter some time ago, but I didn't expect to meet her so soon. I really have to thank you for today's matter. If it wasn't for you and your spirit beast, I don't know what would have happened. Since you're Big Brother C's daughter, you can call me Ant-Man like Siyu. Wu Man said this because she was really grateful to this little girl. Although she felt that what she did later was a bit too much, it was true that the Zhang family was annoying. Man, Ant-Man, you're flattering me. Sima Yue didn't expect that the person in charge of the northern part of the city would help Siyu cover up her lie. It seemed like everyone doted on her. Thinking about it, it was only when she grew up in such an environment that she would have such a character. If she grew up in an environment of mutual deception, she wouldn't have such a pair of pure and sly eyes. Since you're tired, take a rest. Anyway, I have you guarding here so it won't dare to move forward. Wu Man glanced at Zhang Hao and Meng Sha intentionally. Meng Sha saw her gaze and pouted. He swallowed the words that he was about to say. Although he was always at odds with Wu Man, in terms of relationship, it was still much better than with Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao was different. Wu Man looked at him as a warning him not to let the Zhang clan do anything annoying. Now Sima Yu only said that she was tired. If something else happened, she might just leave directly. In her words, even if everyone in the city were to die, she would not lose a single strand of hair even if she were to attack again. So now, if the Zhang family still didn't know what to do, then don't blame the others for being rude. At this moment, the Xi family flew over. No one stopped them. Father. Siyu saw the coldness in her father's eyes. She pulled a long face and smiled as she held his hand. You're being naughty again. Sikong glared at her and scolded. She didn't know if he was talking about her acknowledging Sima Yue as her sister, or the fact that she slapped the Zhang family in front of everyone. Father, I'm just worried about my little sister. Siyu acted coquettishly towards Sikong, but there was also a hint of pleading in her voice. Sima Yue saw that Siyu was so close to her father. She thought of her father who passed away in her previous life and her gaze dimmed. Speaking of which, she had been in this body for decades. No matter if it was her father in name or her biological father, she didn't have any impression of them. Although she had her grandfather and brothers by her side all these years, her father and mother were also indispensable. Siyu saw that Sima Yue was a little sad. She remembered that she was sent away by her father when she was young, and came here to look for her father. She must have missed her father too. Little sister, don't worry. Father won't blame you, Siyu said. Father, it was my idea to sneak out. Don't blame little sister. After speaking, she even shook Sikong's arm. Shock flashed across Sima Yue's face, but there was still a trace of it in her eyes. How did this turn into them sneaking out to play? Hee hee, little sister. C family's third brother smiled at Sima Yue. Come and tell third brother, was this trip fun? Sima Yue saw that everyone was looking at her, especially the Zhang family. She had said that she was from the C family. If they knew that she was lying, they would definitely link Zhang Shua's death to her. She didn't want to deal with these matters yet, so she could only reply with a fake smile. It was fun. Even if it was fun, you have to come back early. C family's eldest brother said, Little, your sister is a playful person. You can't let her do whatever she wants when I'm not around. If little sister wants to play, second brother will bring you there next time. It's too dangerous to go out by yourself. Do you understand? C family's second brother said seriously, as if he was really scolding his two younger sisters. I understand. Sima Yue pursed her lips. Were the three C brothers introducing themselves? Were they afraid that she would be exposed in front of everyone? Even Sikong glanced at her and said, How are you? Are you hurt anywhere? No, I'm just a little tired. Sima Yue followed his words. If you're tired, then rest for a while. There are other people here anyway. It's not like it has to be you. Sikong said lightly, making fun of the Zhang family. Chapter 1336. Sima Yue did not expect Si Kong to say the same thing. She was stunned for a moment before she broke into a big smile. Thank you, foster father. It was a bit embarrassing to call a stranger foster father. Si Kong, this isn't a good idea, right? Someone was unhappy. The situation is still so critical. If we don't handle it well, no one will be able to feel at ease. That's right, Si Kong. This concerns the safety of the entire city's citizens. Isn't it inappropriate for you to do this? That's right. Sima Yue glanced at them. The people who were talking were with the Zhang family just now. Even if they weren't from the Zhang family, they were from the south of the city. Are they dissatisfied with me and are now targeting the Si family? She didn't expect that she would implicate Si Kongliang just because she was angry. Just as she was about to speak, she heard Si Kongliang say leisurely, "What does it have to do with us? Since you speak so righteously, then go ahead. The people of the city will thank you." Sima Yue raised her eyebrows and looked at Si Kong in a new light. This foster father was different from the others. The way he spoke was really satisfying. Si Kong, what do you mean? Those people were choked by Si Kong's words and almost couldn't breathe. It's literally what it means. Si Kong said, "Since you're so concerned about the safety of the people, shouldn't you go and solve the problem immediately? Since that's the case, everyone will naturally thank you. If we can make that thing go back, why would we waste our time here and joke about the lives of the people in the city?" After saying that, the man glanced at Sima Yue. What he meant was obvious. Others might not have a solution, but Sima Yue was delaying it. She did not care about the lives of the people in the city. "Oh, so you also know that you don't have the ability." Si Kong glanced at that person indifferently. "Since you don't have the ability, then don't blindly compete. What's the point of just talking without doing anything?" "Uft." Sima Yue laughed unkindly. His words were too sharp and funny. He wasn't afraid of offending these people. But no matter if it was because he couldn't stand these people, or because he was protecting her because of Siyu, she accepted his kindness. "Si Kong, does your Si family want to watch the citizens die? What are your intentions? I've long heard that the Si family is the most powerful family in the north of the city, and doesn't care about the people in the city. It seems like it's true." Sima Yue pulled a long face and her aura turned cold. She looked at the person who spoke and said sarcastically, "I think you are the ones who don't care about the lives of the people in the city. What nonsense are you talking about?" "How am I spouting nonsense?" Sima Yue sneered. "I came from the outside and arrived in Ghost City not long ago. I just acknowledged Godfather and the rest. To be honest, I don't have a good impression of this Ghost City. The lives of these people are not important to me." When she said this, many people's expressions changed. If she really thought this way, then how could they ask her to save everyone? How many cultivators would make a move for an unrelated person? Sima Yue looked around and continued, "Don't be angry and think that I'm unpardonably evil. Think about it from another perspective. If it were you guys, would you definitely stand up for others?" Many people were silent. If it were them, would they really stand up without hesitation? "If I didn't make a move just now, this ghost city would have really become a ghost city, right?" Sima Yue didn't care about what they thought. "The reason why I made a move was not for anything else but to protect Godfather and the rest. At the same time, I also saved the lives of the people in Ghost City. If it weren't for Godfather and the rest, I might not have made a move. So the people in Ghost City are basking in Godfather and the rest's glory. Since that's the case, what right do you have to criticize them? If you criticize Godfather and the rest and make me angry, I won't care about this anymore. Tell me, aren't you the one who doesn't care about the lives of the people?" "You. What about me?" Sima Yue said, "Am I wrong? So many people's lives are in your hands. How can you be so selfish?" Zhang Hu scolded. "I'm selfish?" Sima Yue looked at him and suddenly laughed. "I think you guys are mistaken about something." "What is it? What do your lives have to do with me? Don't tell me that if I save you, you'll be willing to be my slave and acknowledge me as your master? Or rather, you've already prepared countless treasures, waiting for me to save you, so you'll give them all to me?" Sima Yue laughed coldly. Saving you guys is my right, not my duty. Zhang Hu and the rest's faces turned even uglier, but they couldn't find any words to refute. What do you want? Zhang Hao asked. This. Manager Zhang, right? Sima Yue looked at Zhang Hao. I don't want anything. You're making it sound like I'm taking advantage of the situation. Then what do you want to do? I didn't do anything. Sima Yue cried out innocently. I said just now, I'm just tired and want to rest. But you guys seem to want me to do nothing, so that you can push the blame onto Godfather and the rest. Sai, Godfather and the rest have been accused by you for no reason. How can I, as their goddaughter, bear to do that? I think I should do nothing, at least let Godfather and the rest be accused. Pfft. This time, the C family laughed. She said that she wouldn't do anything and let the C family be accused, but everyone could tell that she was being sarcastic. She was the only one here who could control that thing, so how could she really not do anything? But this little girl said that she was a selfish person, so she was protecting them, right? They were actually protected by a little girl. This was the first time in history. They never cared about what other people said, but it felt good to have someone protecting them. Everyone else wanted to use their family's power, but she was different. No wonder their precious little sister liked her so much. This girl was indeed worthy of being liked. Then what do you want? I don't want anything. Sima Yue said. I've already said that I don't have any feelings for those people, and I don't want their gratitude. I just want to save Godfather and the rest. You guys said that Godfather and the rest don't care about the people in the city. So of course I want to help Godfather and the rest be accused. After speaking, she shrugged nonchalantly as if saying, bite me if you're not happy with it. Sikong, what do you say? Zhang Hao looked at Sikong coldly. Big brother C. Before Sikong could speak, Wu Man shook her head lightly at him, obviously knowing what he wanted to say. Sikong glanced at Wu Man. All right, for her sake, he should restrain himself. To be continued. This book came from Chapter 1337. Sima Yue also looked at Sikong and wanted to see what he would say. Sikong got Wu Man's hint and swallowed back his words. He changed to a more tactful way of saying it. Zhang Hao, don't you think you're looking for trouble? He glanced at the people who were talking just now and said, my child didn't say that she didn't want to do it in the beginning. She just said that she wanted to rest for a while. My child has a bad temper. I usually have to coax her, but you guys are still giving her attitude? Tell me, aren't you guys deliberately trying to prevent her from doing it? We didn't. Those people seem to have realized the severity of the consequences of Sima Yue's anger, and their imposing manner was reduced. Everyone can see whether or not there is. I don't need to say anything, Sikong said. It's true that what they said just now was wrong. Young lady, don't be angry, Zhang Hao said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. He had never expected that he would be the first person to make her feel uncomfortable. She did not realize her mistake and remained silent in response to his words. All right, child, it's not just those people, Wu Man said. Although you said that just now, we all know that you are actually thinking about the citizens in the city. Isn't it? The people from the C family didn't come before, but you came as soon as something happened. Aren't you trying to protect everyone? Luo Qi chimed in. Yeah. We all saw it. What you said just now was just out of anger. The others also said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. These people really knew how to flatter her. Sikong, what's the situation now? Zhang Hao didn't have the time to coax a child. Zhang Hao, I've said it countless times. My child is tired. He was tired. Since he was tired, of course he had to rest. Only after a good rest will you have the strength to deal with such a scary thing, Sikong said. When will you be able to rest? That's hard to say. Sikong said. You know how powerful this thing is. It takes a lot of energy to chase it back, right, child? Yes. However, I feel that others might not believe what Godfather said. Sima Yue said. Didn't they say that it was very simple? Then let them try. Let them howl a little, or let their spirit beasts howl a little. It might really work. In any case, in their eyes, this is a very simple matter. That's right. Siyu clapped her hands. They made it sound so easy, let's just let them experience it. If their howling didn't work, they could try Little Black's method. Perhaps it would work. Right, little sister? Sima Yue tried to hold back her laughter. Did this guy just make her bark like a dog? However, she didn't look like she was trying to trick him. On the contrary, she looked very serious, as if what she was doing was really useful. She nodded in agreement and said, "That's right. I thought they could try it while I was resting. It might be useful." "How can this be?" "No." Those people immediately objected. Wasn't it insulting to make them bark like a dog? "I think it's possible," Meng Sha said. "Anyway, this little girl is tired now, let's let others try. Who knows, maybe they can do it. This way, they won't have to look at the C family's face." Sima Yue looked at Meng Sha. This guy looked feminine, and seemed to be a ruthless person. His words clearly showed that he was dissatisfied with Sima Yu and the C clan, but if you thought about it carefully, he was actually speaking up for them. Because his words were mainly to let those people try, he didn't really say that anyone could do it, and then they wouldn't have to look at her face. Everyone here understood that other than Little Black, who was in Sima Yu's arms, no one else here could do it. "I think it's possible too," Luo Qi said. "The situation now is special. If others can force it back, we can be at ease earlier. Wu Man, what do you think?" "I have no objections," Wu Man said. Sima Yue looked at these people who were spouting nonsense with a straight face in surprise. She thought to herself that these people were good at cheating people. However, she did not think that these people were venting their anger for her. Wu Man had a good relationship with the C family. She might be, but Luo Qi and Meng Sha might not be. Maybe they were just displeased with these people and took the chance to cheat them. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was the case. It was because these people offended her that this happened. Otherwise, they might have already chased that thing back. "Since you all agreed, then you can try," Meng Sha said. "Let's see if this matter is that easy. If it is, then this little girl doesn't need to stay in Ghost City anymore. If it isn't, then we can't wrong her." That's right. Uncle Meng is right. We have to be fair," Siyu said. Zhang Hao wanted to refute, but the other three agreed. They also understood that they had offended Sima Yue today. If they did not appease her, then today's matter would not be able to continue. However, these people were either from the Zhang family or from the South City, who had a good relationship with the Zhang family. If they really went, wouldn't it be a slap to his face? This C family was really despicable. When this matter was over, he would definitely teach them a lesson. He glanced at Si Kong and the rest, not hiding the hatred in his eyes. Sima Yu understood what he was thinking the moment he saw it. She was not afraid of offending the Zhang family. Anyway, after she found her father, she would definitely leave. Also, she killed Zhang Shua, so this grudge was formed. However, the C family was different. Even if she left, the C family would still be here. Although she heard that Wu Man and Zhang Hao did not have a good relationship and did not interact much with the North and South City, this Zhang Hao was still the South City's manager. If they fell out, then it would be troublesome. She wanted to say something, but Si Kong spoke up with the same tone as before. "I also think this method is feasible. When my child is resting, we can take a good look at old Zhang and your family's abilities." They all said that this is easy, but it's not good to just talk and not do it. "Isn't that so?" Si family's third brother also agreed. "I heard that the Zhang family always said that they are much more powerful than our Si family. Today is a good opportunity for us to broaden our horizons. If it's true, then we will admit defeat today." We will wait and see," Si family's eldest brother said. That's right. When I was playing in the city, I heard the Zhang family say that they are the biggest family in Ghost City. Who can compare to them? As long as they are here, the other families will have to stand aside. Manager Zhang, since your Zhang family said so, we have to see if it's true. We are all familiar with each other. If it's true, then we will definitely believe that you are number one. Look, isn't that thing about to get up? You better hurry up and shout, otherwise it will get up. Chapter 1338. Her voice was filled with nervousness. The others were so frightened that they also felt that the black fog seemed to have spread a little more than before. Is an element of 8 is an element of 8 is an element of reading is an element of book. O greater than over equal to Sima Yue looked at the C family in amusement. It turned out that Yu's personality wasn't just because she lived in such a happy family. It was probably because of genetics. Can't you see that this whole family is eager to stir up trouble? By saying this at this time, it was clear that he didn't care whether he would offend the Zhang clan or not. However, what she didn't know was that the C family and the Zhang family were similar in strength. They were the top families in the north and south of Ghost City, so there was no need to be afraid of the Zhang family. Although Zhang Hao was the helmsman of the Zhang family, the relationship between the C family and Wu Man wasn't just for show. That thing is about to retaliate. Why aren't you guys rushing over to try? Meng Sha pulled a long face and said, No. How could we do such a thing? Zhang Hu said, That's right. It's impossible for us to do that. The others also objected. It was impossible for them to do such a thing. Don't even think about staying in Ghost City in the future. Is that so? Sima Yu shrugged her shoulders and said, Didn't you guys just say righteously how to think for the citizens of the city? You haven't even tried. How do you know it won't work? I think you guys don't want to, right? Little girl, don't push your luck. Pfft. Sima Yue burst into laughter. Let me ask you, how am I progressing? After spending so much energy, I didn't get anything in return. Instead, I was accused of all kinds of crimes. It seems like I can't be a good person. Since you locals don't care about the people, I don't think I need to do anything, Sima Yue said. Little girl, didn't you say you were tired? You should be fine after resting for so long, right? Zhang Hao asked. Oh, this is not something that can be healed in a short period of time. Clearly, everyone should be doing their part, but it has become my problem. Everyone else is just watching the show. I feel unbalanced. Once I feel unbalanced, I feel tired. Sigh, he probably didn't rest well. Sima Yu shook her head and sighed. If it wasn't for the occasion, Siyu would have laughed out loud without a care for her image. However, she held Sikong's hand and gave her a thumbs up. What do you want? Zhang Hao was infuriated. This junior had refuted his face time and time again. His heart was already filled with killing intent. How could Sima Yue not feel it? She wanted to kill her over such a small matter. Furthermore, she was the only one who could suppress that thing. What a good manager. Nothing much. I've already said that this isn't about me alone. I'm tired. If they don't want me to be tired, then let them try. At the very least, they have to show that everyone is working hard. Otherwise, I won't be able to get rid of my mental exhaustion. Little sister, since you're so tired, let's not bother about it. Let's go to the north of the city. After all, this thing will first kill the people in the south of the city. Once everyone in the south of the city is dead, you should have rested enough. At that time, you will have a better chance of winning. The people from other places won't suffer any losses either. Siyu acted as if she felt sorry for Sima Yue. All right. Then let's go back. Siyu pulled Sima Yue. Father, open the space tunnel. Let's go back and rest. Sikong did as he said. He formed a seal with one hand, and was really going to open the space tunnel. The black fog seemed to have heard that Sima Yue was going to leave, and felt that it was time to retaliate. It started to surge again. You guys go and try. Zhang Hao said unwillingly. After he finished speaking, his face was so black that it could drip water. After he said that, Sikong stopped what he was doing and waited for him to continue. The people from the Zhang family were completely stunned. Did he really want them to try? How could that be? Why are you still standing there? Get down. Zhang Hao saw that they were still standing there, and kicked Zhang Hu down. Zhang Hu immediately came to a place a few meters away from the black fog. Although Zhang Hao was angry, he still knew his limits and didn't kick them into the black fog. Zhang Hu saw that Zhang Hao was angry and didn't dare to say anything. He had already come down. If he went back, would he still be able to survive? Actually, even if he didn't go up today, he wouldn't be able to survive. At this moment, There were many citizens standing in the air outside the forbidden area. They couldn't enter, but they could still see from afar. The patrol team couldn't block all of them, could they? At most, they couldn't get close. As for whether they could see it or not, it was none of their business. Those people had been watching for a while. At first, when they heard Sima Yue say that she didn't want to do it, they blamed her in their hearts. However, they slowly understood that it was the Zhang family's fault. Usually, the people in the city were disgusted with the Zhang family. However, they were a big family. Who dared to provoke them? However, everyone had heard what Siyu said. Indeed, the Zhang family had said that they were the most powerful. Since the Zhang family was so powerful, they would watch carefully. Elder Zhang Hu, our lives are in your hands. Someone shouted from the outside. Zhang Hu and the rest then noticed that there were many people gathered around to watch the show. They had to do it today even if they didn't want to. Otherwise, those people would really say that the Zhang family didn't care about them anymore. No matter how powerful the Zhang family was, if they offended everyone in the city, they wouldn't be able to survive. Zhang Hao gritted his teeth and shouted. Of course, the ones who were gritting their teeth were the Si family and Sima Yue. Zhang Hu knew that he couldn't escape today. He condensed spiritual power in his hands and wanted to attack that thing. However, before he could release his spiritual power, someone poured a bucket of cold water on him. If you dare to attack it, I guarantee that you won't live for another second. Sima Yue said faintly. This thing was afraid of Little Black, so it didn't come out. However, if it was attacked, it wouldn't continue to be so obedient. Then what do you think we should do? Zhang Hu immediately regretted asking. Didn't you just say that Little Black only howled twice? Then you can howl twice. Remember, howling like my Little Black is useful. Sima Yue caressed Little Black. Impossible. How could Zhang Hu let himself learn to bark like a dog? He continued to condense spiritual power and attacked the black fog. The black fog was originally suppressed by Little Black and was already very uncomfortable. Now that it was being attacked, it was angry. The black fog rushed over in an instant. Zhang Hu couldn't escape in time and was surrounded. Very quickly, the black fog retreated. Zhang Hu's figure was nowhere to be seen. Only a pile of bones was left. Sima Yue looked at the pile of bones and thought that it was quite similar to the first time she saw Little Black. Chapter 1339. Little Hay knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground in disdain and whimpered. It seemed to be unhappy with her thinking. What the hell is this? How could he be compared to him? Yu was really something. The first time Sima Yue saw Little Black, the scene was even scarier, so she did not feel anything. However, it was different for the others. Many of them were stunned. So powerful. Zhang Hu was a paragon-level powerhouse, but he had turned into a skeleton in such a short time. What the hell is this? No matter what it is, as long as we can see it, even a little bit of it will take our lives. That's right. I didn't expect this thing to be so powerful. Fortunately, we didn't go down. The Zhang family members were also frightened. Zhang Hu's strength was not high, but it was not low either. However, he had turned into a pile of bones in a short period of time. This was not an easy thing to do in the past. It's all your fault. It's all your fault for threatening to go down there. If you have a way to save everyone, why don't you save them? You must *CK brother Huzi to death. What intentions does the C family have? When a woman saw Zhang Hu's bones, she burst into tears. When she saw Sima Yue, she wanted to rush forward and kill her. However, when she saw the C family behind her, she did not dare to do so. Sima Yue was shocked by the way she addressed him. Brother Huzi? How could someone use such a country bumpkin name? However, from this, it seemed that this person's relationship with Zhang Hu was pretty good. Siyu pointed at the woman and wanted to scold her, but Sima Yue grabbed her arm and stopped her. Siyu knew that Sima Yue was a good talker, so she didn't say anything and waited for her to speak. Granny, what you're saying is wrong. As expected, Sima Yue poked Shirlisha's sore spot as soon as she opened her mouth. Her sorrowful face became even more furious. What old granny? Are you blind? Shirley Sha shouted. This Zhang who is already an elder of the Zhang clan. He's definitely not young. He's definitely older than my grandfather. Since you called him Brother Huzi, your age shouldn't be too far apart. Otherwise, why don't you call him Uncle Huzi? Sima Yue explained slowly. You. Granny, I respect you for your age, so I thought that you're a reasonable person. Just now, before Zhang Hu attacked, I warned him not to use spiritual power. But he didn't listen. Can you blame me for this? Sima Yu interrupted him innocently. If you didn't force him to go down, how could he? Shirley Sha looked at Sima Yu as if she wanted to tear her apart. Granny, you're wrong again. Sima Yu said. I didn't ask him to go down. Wasn't he kicked down by Steward Zhang? Yue. From the beginning to the end, I said that I was tired and wanted to rest. She was right, but anyone could tell that Sima Yue made them go down on purpose. Yue. Besides, Granny, this Zhang Hu thought that he was strong and didn't care about the reminders of small fries like us. How can you blame this on me? If he didn't use his spiritual energy, wouldn't he still be alive? So Granny, this is his own choice. You can't blame others. Sima Yue said. Isn't that so? My little sister reminded him. So many people here saw it. You still want to deny it? Siyu said. If you want to blame my little sister, my Xi clan isn't to be trifled with. Sima Yue turned her head and smiled gratefully at Siyu. This girl kept calling her little sister. She was getting used to it. Shirley Sha understood the Xi clan's position and didn't dare to shout and kill in front of everyone. But she already hated Siyu and was prepared to find a chance to kill her. It would be strange if Sima Yue didn't feel such an obvious murderous intent. It was better for her to get rid of this ticking time bomb as soon as possible. Since this granny cares so much for your brother Huzi, why don't you go down and collect his bones? His body has been exposed for too long. Sima Yue kindly reminded her. I don't need you to tell me. Shirley Sha snorted. She hesitated for a while but still flew down. She thought about it. When Zhang Hu went down, the black fog didn't react. It only attacked when Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to attack. So as long as she didn't attack, the black fog shouldn't attack her. Unfortunately, everything was not as she thought. Or rather, if Sima Yue wasn't there, everything would be as she thought. Unfortunately, she wanted to kill Yue and Yue didn't want her to live either. Just as she landed and bent down to pick up Zhang Hu's bones, Sima Yue lightly poked Little Black's head. Little Black shrunk his neck unhappily and let out a low whimper. Everyone knew Shirley Sha and Zhang Hu's relationship. So when she went to collect the body, no one was surprised. They thought the same as Shirley Sha. As long as she didn't use her spiritual energy, there wouldn't be a problem. However, what made them dumbfounded was that the moment she went to pick up the bones, which was when Little Black was whimpering softly, the black fog once again surged back and swept 10 miles sand in. The result was obvious. Shirley Sha didn't collect Zhang Hu's bones. Instead, there was a pile of bones on the ground. Looks like this thing is very unhappy that Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to hit it. It didn't even let go of the person who went to collect his body. Siyu giggled and clapped. Others didn't notice Sima Yue's actions. She was right beside Yue and naturally noticed it. Wu Man on the other side was the same. But to the Zhang family, 1 or 2 deaths didn't affect her much. The Zhang family didn't expect to lose 2 monarch rank beginner stage people. Their faces were black. It was all Sima Yue's fault. If it wasn't for her, how could Zhang Hu and Little Black die? How could they lose 2 experts? But no matter how much they hated her, they couldn't touch her before the matter was settled. Have you rested enough? Zhang Hao didn't even use the word little girl. It was obvious that he was furious. Not yet. Sima Yue didn't give him any face and rejected him directly. Didn't you say that you would rest well after they went down to try? Yeah, that's what I said. Sima Yue nodded. But didn't we just try one person? There were so many people who spoke just now. If we don't try, how will we know if they can do it? When she said that, the faces of those who scolded her changed. Chapter 1340. Sima Yuyue also looked at Sikong to see what he had to say. Sima Yuyue also looked at Sikong to see what he had to say. After getting Wu Man's hint, Sikong swallowed his previous words and changed to a more euphemistic way of saying it. Zhang Hao, don't you think you're looking for trouble? He glanced at the people who had spoken just now. My child didn't say that he would stop at the beginning. He only said that he would rest for a while, but you guys just stood there and chattered. My child has a bad temper, and I usually have to coax her. Why are you guys giving her that attitude? Tell me, are you guys trying to stop her from doing it? We're not. Those people seemed to have realized how serious the consequences of Sima Yoyue's anger were, and they became less aggressive. Whether or not there's no need for me to say anything, everyone is watching, Sikong said. It's true that they spoke wrongly just now. Little girl, don't be angry, Zhang Hao said. Sima Yue curled her lips. He had said that others spoke wrongly, but he did not expect that he would be the one who made her feel uncomfortable first. Unable to recognize her own mistake, she remained silent in response to his words. All right, child, it's not just those people who are concerned about this. Wu Man said. Although you said that just now, we all know that you're actually thinking about the people in the city. Isn't that right? The people from the Xi family didn't come before, but you came as soon as something happened. If it's not to protect everyone, then what is it? Luoqi also echoed. Yes. We all saw it. What you said just now was just something you said out of anger. The others also said. The corner of Sima Yuyue's mouth twitched. These people really knew how to flatter themselves. Sikong, what do you think of the situation now? Zhang Hao did not have the time to coax a child. Zhang Hao, I've said it countless times. My child is tired. Tired. Since she's tired, of course she needs to rest. Only after resting well will she have the strength to deal with such a scary thing, Sikong said. Then when will she be able to rest well? That's hard to say, Sikong said. You also know that this thing is so powerful. It will take a lot of energy to drive it back, right, child? Yes. But I think that even if Godfather said so, others might not necessarily believe it, Sima Yue said. Didn't they just say that it was very easy? Then let them give it a try. Let them howl a few times, or let their spirit beasts howl a few times. Who knows, it might really work. Anyway, in their eyes, it's just a very simple matter. That's right. See, you clapped her hands. They said it was so easy, let them experience it. If their howling doesn't work, then try Little Black's barking. Who knows, it might work. Isn't that right, little sister? Sima Yue held back her laughter. Didn't this guy just make others bark like a dog? But she didn't look like she was tricking him. On the contrary, she looked very serious, as if it would really work. She nodded in agreement and said, That's right. I think, while I'm resting, we can let them give it a try. Who knows, it might work. How can you do that? No. Those people immediately objected. Asking them to bark like a dog? Wasn't that insulting? I think it's possible, Ming Sha said. Anyway, this little girl is tired now, so let's let the others try. Who knows who might be able to do it? That way, we won't have to listen to the Xi family. Sima Yue looked at Ming Sha. This guy looked feminine, but he also seemed to be a vicious and merciless person. His words clearly expressed his dissatisfaction with Sima Yue and the Xi family, but if one thought about it carefully, he was actually speaking up for them. Because his words were mainly to let those people try, he didn't really mean that anyone could do it, and then they wouldn't have to listen to her. Everyone here knew that besides Little Black, who was in Sima Yue's arms, no one else could do it. I think it's feasible too. Luo Qi said, Now that the situation is special, if the others can force it back, we can be at ease earlier. Wu Man, what do you think? I have no objections, Wu Man said. Sima Yue looked at these stewards in astonishment, speaking nonsense with a serious face. She thought to herself, these people have a high realm of deceiving people. However, she didn't think that these people were venting anger for her. Wu Man had a good relationship with the Xi family, so she might be, but Luo Qi and Meng Sha might not be. Perhaps they were just dissatisfied with these people, and took the opportunity to trick them. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was the case. It was because these people had offended her that they caused such a scene. Otherwise, they might have already chased that thing back to where it came from. Since everyone has agreed, then you guys can try it. Mengsha said. Let's see if this matter is that easy. If it is, then this little girl can no longer mingle in Ghost City. If it isn't, we can't wrongly accuse her. That's right, that's right. Uncle Meng is right. We have to be fair, Siyu said. Zhang Hao wanted to refute, but the other three agreed. They understood that they had offended Sima Yue today. If they didn't appease her anger, they might not be able to continue today. However, these people were either from the Zhang family, or were on good terms with the Zhang family in the south of the city. If they really let them go, wouldn't it be a slap to his face? The Si family was really despicable. When this matter was over, he would definitely teach them a lesson. He glanced at Sikong and the others, not concealing the hatred in his eyes. With one look, Sima Yue understood what he was thinking. She was not afraid of offending the Zhang family. Anyway, after she found her father, she would definitely leave. Moreover, she had killed Zhang Shua, so there was a feud between them. However, the Si family was different. Even if she left, the Si family would still be here. Although she had heard that Wu Man and Zhang Hao's relationship was not very good, and they rarely interacted with each other in the south and north of the city, Zhang Hao was still the steward of the south of the city. If they directly fell out, it would be troublesome. Just as she was about to say something, Sikong spoke, still in the same tone as before. I also think this method is feasible. While my child is resting, we can also see the capabilities of old Zhang and your family. They all say that it's easy, but it's not good to just talk and do nothing. Isn't that so? The third brother of the Si family also echoed. I heard that the Zhang family's elder said that they are much more powerful than our Si family. Today is a good opportunity for us to broaden our horizons. If that's the case, we will say that we are convinced today. Will wait and see, the eldest brother of the Si family said. That's right, that's right. When I was playing in the city, I heard the Zhang family say that they are the biggest family in Ghost City. Who can compare to them? As long as they are around, the other families have to step aside. Steward Zhang, since the Zhang family said so, we have to see if it's true. We are all acquaintances. If it's true, we will definitely believe that you are number one in the future. Look, isn't that thing about to get up? Hey, hurry up and howl, or else it's going to get up. Chapter 1341. Her voice was full of nervousness, scaring the others into thinking that the black fog seemed to be spreading out a little more than before. Her voice was full of nervousness, scaring the others into thinking that the black fog seemed to be spreading out a little more than before. Sima Yue looked at the Si family amused. It turned out that Siyu's temperament was not only because she lived in such a happy family, but also because of genetic factors. Didn't they see that this family was eager to see the world in chaos? Saying that at this time, it was obvious that they did not care whether they would offend the Zhang family. However, what she did not know was that the Si family and the Zhang family's strength were similar. They were the main families in the north and south of the Ghost City respectively, so they did not have to be afraid of the Zhang family at all. Although the Zhang family had Zhang Hao at the helm, the relationship between the Si family and Wu Man was not just for show. That thing is about to counterattack. Why don't you guys hurry up and try it? Mengsha said with a sullen face. No. How can we do such a thing? Zhang Hu said. That's right, it's impossible for us to do this. The others also objected. How could they do such a thing? They could forget about staying in this ghost city in the future. Is that so? Sima Yue shrugged and said. Didn't you guys just say righteously that you would think of the people in the city? You guys haven't even tried, yet you know it won't work? I think you guys don't want to, right? Little girl, don't push your luck. Pfft. Sima Yue suddenly laughed. I want to ask, when did I push my luck? After spending so much effort, I didn't get anything out of it. Instead, I was accused of all kinds of crimes. It seems that I can't be a good person. Since you locals don't care about the people, I think I don't have to do anything, Sima Yue said. Little girl, didn't you say you were tired? After resting for so long, you should be feeling better, right? Zhang Hao asked. Oh, this is not something that can be healed in a short time. Everyone should be contributing, but it became my own matter, and everyone else is just watching. I feel unbalanced, and when I feel unbalanced, I feel tired. Sigh, I guess I didn't rest well. Sima Yue shook her head and sighed. If it weren't for the inappropriate occasion, Siyu would have laughed without caring about her image. However, she held on to Si Kong's hand and gave her a thumbs up. What do you want? Zhang Hao was furious. This junior had disrespected him time and time again, and his heart was filled with killing intent. How could Sima Yue not feel it? Zhang Hao wanted to kill her because of such a small matter, but she was the only one who could suppress that thing at the moment. What a good steward. Nothing much. I said this is not my own matter, and I'm tired. If they want me to not be tired, then let them try. At least they have to show that everyone is working hard on this matter. Otherwise, I won't be able to get better. Little sister, since you're so tired, let's not bother about it. Let's go back to the north of the city. Anyway, this thing will first kill the people in the south when it spreads out. When the people in the south are all dead, you'll probably have enough rest. At that time, you'll have a higher chance of winning. The people in other places won't suffer any losses. Siyu looked as if she was worried about Sima Yue. Okay, then let's go back. Siyu came up and pulled Sima Yue. Dad, open the spatial passage. Let's go back and rest. Si Kong did as he said. He made a seal with one hand, and was really going to open the spatial passage. The black fog seemed to have heard that Sima Yue was about to leave, and felt that it could counterattack, so it began to surge again. You guys go and try, Zhang Hao said reluctantly. When he finished, his face was so dark that it could drip water. After he said that, Si Kong also stopped what he was doing and waited for him to continue. The people from the Zhang family were completely stunned. Did he really want them to try? How could they do that? Why are you still standing there? Go down. Zhang Hao saw that they were still standing there, and directly kicked Zhang Hu down. Zhang Hu came a few meters away from the spiritual black fog. It seemed that although Zhang Hao was angry, he still had some sense of propriety. He did not directly kick Zhang Hu into the black fog. Zhang Hu saw that Zhang Hao was already angry, and did not dare to say anything else. He had already come down. If he went back, how could he survive? In fact, even if he did not go up today, he would not be able to survive. At this time, there were many people in the city standing in the air outside the forbidden area. They could not come in, but they could still see them from afar. Even the patrol team couldn't block everyone, could they? The most they could do was to prevent them from getting close. As for whether they could see it or not, it was none of their business. Those people had been watching for a while. At first, when they heard Sima Yue say that she was not going to do it, they blamed her in their hearts. But gradually, they realized that it was the Zhang family's fault again. Usually, the people in the city were quite disgusted with the Zhang family, but they were so powerful that no one dared to provoke them. However, everyone had heard what Siyu said. Indeed, the Zhang family had said that they were the most powerful. Since the Zhang family was so powerful, they would take a good look. Elder Zhang Hu, our lives are in your hands. Someone shouted from outside. Only then did Zhang Hu and the others notice that many people had gathered around to watch the show. They had to do it today, even if they did not want to. Otherwise, those people would really say that the Zhang family did not care about them. No matter how powerful the Zhang family was, if they offended the entire city, they would not be able to survive. Zhang Hao shouted, gritting his teeth. Of course, the target of his gritting teeth was the Si family and Sima Yue. Zhang Hu knew that he could not escape today. He condensed spiritual power in his hands and wanted to attack that thing. However, before he could release his spiritual power, he was poured a bucket of cold water on him. If you dare to attack it, I guarantee that you will not live for another second, Sima Yue said faintly. This thing was afraid of Little Black, so it did not come out. However, if it was attacked, it would not continue to be so obedient. Then what do you think I should do? Zhang Hu regretted the moment he asked. Didn't you say that Little Black only howled twice? Then you should howl twice. Remember, howl like my Little Black. Sima Yue stroked her little buttocks. Impossible. How could Zhang Hu let himself bark like a dog? He continued to condense his spiritual power and attack the black fog. The black fog was already very uncomfortable after being suppressed by Little Black. Now that it was attacked, it was furious. The black fog rushed over in an instant. Zhang Hu did not have time to escape and was surrounded by it. Very quickly, the black fog retreated. Zhang Hu's figure was nowhere to be seen. Only a pile of bones was left. Sima Yue looked at the pile of bones and thought that it was quite similar to the first time she saw Little Black. Chapter 1342. Little Black knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground with contempt and whimpered twice, as if it was dissatisfied with her thinking. Little Black knew what Sima Yue was thinking. It looked at the white bones on the ground with contempt and whimpered twice, as if it was dissatisfied with her thinking. How could it compare to me? How could it compare to me? Yu is too much. The first time Sima Yue saw Little Black, the scene was even scarier than this, so she did not feel anything. But it was different for the others. Many of them were stunned. So powerful. This Zhang Hu is an honorable level expert, but he turned into white bones in such a short time. What the hell is this thing? No matter what it is, as long as you can see it, even a little bit of it will kill you and me. That's right. I didn't expect this thing to be so powerful. Fortunately, we didn't go down. The Zhang family was also shocked. Zhang Hu's strength was not high, but it was not low either. Yet he turned into a pile of white bones in such a short time. It was not an easy thing to do in the past. It's all your fault. It's all your fault for threatening to go down there. You have a way to save everyone. Why didn't you? You wanted to F***ck brother Hu to death. What intentions does the C family have? A woman saw Zhang Hu's white bones and burst into tears. When she saw Sima Yue, she wanted to rush up and kill her, but when she saw the C family behind her, she did not dare to do so. Sima Yue was shocked by the way she addressed Zhang Hu. Brother Hu? Why would someone call him such a country bumpkin? But from this, it seemed that this person had a good relationship with Zhang Hu. Siyu pointed at the woman and wanted to scold her. But Sima Yue grabbed her arm and stopped her. Siyu knew that Sima Yue was good at talking, so she did not speak and waited for her to speak. This old granny, what you said is wrong. As expected, Sima Yue's words hit Shirley Shaw's sore spot. Her sorrowful face became even angrier. What old granny? Are you blind? Shirley Shaw shouted. This Zhang Hu is an elder of the Zhang family, so he is definitely not young. He is definitely older than my grandfather. Since you call him Big Brother Huzi, you should be around the same age. Otherwise, why don't you call him Uncle Hu? Sima Yue explained slowly. You. Old granny, I respect your age, so I thought that you should be a reasonable person. Just now, before Zhang Hu made his move, I reminded him that he couldn't use his spiritual power, but he just didn't listen. Can you blame me for that? Sima Yue cut him off with an innocent look. If you did not force him to go down, how could he? Shirley Shaw looked at Sima Yue as if he wanted to tear her apart. Old granny, you're wrong again, Sima Yue said. I did not ask him to go down. Wasn't he kicked down by Steward Zhang? I did not say that I would not care about this matter if you did not go down. From the beginning to the end, I said that I was tired and needed to rest. What she said was true, but anyone could see that Sima Yue had deliberately asked them to go down. You? Moreover, old granny, this Zhang Hu relied on his strength and did not care about the warnings of small fries like us. How can you blame this on me? If he did not use spiritual energy, wouldn't he still be alive and well? So old granny, this is his own choice, you can't blame others, Sima Yue said. Isn't that so? My little sister reminded him. So many people here saw it, and you still want to deny it? Siyu said. Humph, if you want to blame my little sister, my C family is not to be trifled with. Sima Yue turned her head and smiled gratefully at Siyu. This girl was getting more and more familiar with calling her little sister. Shirley Shaw understood the status of the C family, so he did not dare to shout and kill in front of everyone anymore. However, he already bore a grudge against her, and was ready to find a chance to kill her. With such an obvious killing intent, it would be strange if Sima Yue did not feel it. As for this untimed bomb, it was better for her to remove it as soon as possible. Since this old granny cares so much about your brother why don't you go down and collect his remains? His body has been exposed in front of everyone for too long. Sima Yue kindly reminded. You don't need to tell me, I know. Shirley Shaw snorted coldly, hesitated for a moment, and flew down. She recalled that when Zhang Hu first went down, the black fog did not have any reaction. It only counterattacked when Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to attack. Therefore, as long as she did not attack, the black fog should not attack her. Unfortunately, everything was not as she had imagined. Or rather, if not for Sima Yue, everything would have been as she had imagined. Unfortunately, she wanted to kill Yue, and Yue did not want her to live. Just as she landed and bent down to pick up Zhang Hu's remains, Sima Yue gently poked Little Black's head. Little Black seemed to be a little unhappy as it shrank its neck and let out a low whimper. Everyone knew about the relationship between Shirley Shaw and Zhang Hu, so they were not surprised when she went to collect the remains. They had the same thought as Shirley Shaw. As long as she did not use her spiritual energy, there would be no problem. However, what shocked them was that the moment she went to collect the remains, which was also when Little Black whimpered, the black fog once again attacked and swept Shirley Shaw into it. The final result was self-evident. Shirley Shaw did not collect Zhang Hu's remains. Instead, there was a pile of white bones on the ground. It seems that this thing is very unhappy that Zhang Hu used his spiritual energy to hit it. It did not even let go of the person who went to collect his remains. Siyu giggled and clapped her hands. Others did not notice Sima Yue's actions just now, but she was right beside Yue. Naturally, she noticed it. On the other side, Wu Man was the same. However, to the Zhang family, the death of one or two of them did not affect her. The Zhang family did not expect to lose two people in the early stage of the Venerable Realm. Their faces were extremely dark. It was all Sima Yue's fault. If it were not for her, how could Zhang Hu and Wu Man die? How could they lose two masters? However, no matter how much they hated her, they could not touch her before the matter was settled. Have you rested enough? Zhang Hao did not even use the word little girl this time. It was obvious that he was very angry. Not yet. The more angry he was, the more Sima Yue refused to give him face. Didn't you say that you would rest well after they went down to try it? Yes, I did say so. Sima Yue nodded. But, didn't we only try one person? There were so many people talking just now. If we don't try at all, how will we know if they can do it? As she said this, the faces of those who had scolded her just now changed. Chapter 1343. Sima Yue proudly looked at the panicking power. Do you really think I can't deal with you? However, she also felt lucky that she didn't trust this guy and let the purple heavenly thunder of extreme take precautions in advance. However, in his heart, he also felt that it was a close shave. Fortunately, he didn't trust this fellow and had prepared the purple sky thunder in advance. If you play any more tricks, I'll destroy you. If you play any more tricks, I'll destroy you. If Blackie can't do it, what do you think about the purple heavenly thunder? Although that thing was unwilling, it did not dare to play any tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to recognize her as its master. Although that thing was unwilling, it didn't dare to play any more tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to recognize her as its master. Sima Yue called out softly when she felt the connection with that thing. Siyu and Diwu came down and saw her confused look. Little sister, what's wrong? Sima Yue looked at them and said, I already have a soul contract. I didn't expect this thing to have a soul contract with me too. So it's a little strange. Usually, a person can only have one soul contract, right? Maybe your soul is too strong, so you can contract more. Siyu guessed. That's possible. Sima Yue said. Since the stronger the mental strength, the more spirit beasts can be contracted. Then the stronger the soul, the more soul contracts can be made. That's right. That's the theory. Siyu said. Little sister, can you let it transform and take a look? I'm a little curious about what it looks like. Sima Yue shook her head and said, "It looks like this. It doesn't have a specific shape. However, it can transform into other forms." Because of the soul contract, she had a better understanding of it. "Oh, what can it transform into? Mill, let's see what it looks like." Sima Yue smiled and ordered. Mill was the name she gave it. The black fog floating above the pool slowly condensed into a shape. When it was completed, everyone saw that it was Siyu. Even her aura was very similar. "Wow, it really looks like it," Siyu exclaimed in surprise. "Mill, change it." The black fog dissipated, and when it reassembled, it turned into Sima Yue. Because they had a soul contract, even its aura was exactly the same. It looked like there were really two Sima Yuyes. "This is amazing." Siyu looked at the two Sima Yuyes. With Mill, it would be so much more convenient for her in the future. Sima Yue did not expect Mill to have this ability. This was the first time since ancient times. Although Qianying could also transform, she was the only one who could do so. If she wanted to imitate others, it was impossible to imitate their aura. Mill, on the other hand, could imitate other people's aura to perfection. It was even better than Qianying. Most importantly, Qianying could only imitate those of the light attribute, while Mill's impersonation was not restricted by other attributes. In other words, it could imitate humans, ghosts, and demons. Mill could be considered the only one in the world to have intelligence born from Sure. "But little sister, now that you two have a soul contract, will Old Witch and the others find out?" Siyu said worriedly. She did not feel it, but the Old Witch and the others were very powerful. Perhaps they would notice something different about Meyer. "I have completely cut off contact with my clone. The contract on my body will not be transferred to it. No matter how powerful they are, they won't be able to find out," Mill said. "Then we'll do as you say." Mir nodded, and the transformed Sima Yue dispersed. Then, all the black fog on the surface of the water sank. At the same time, the water in the pool slowly decreased, and the color became lighter, from black to colorless. Poof! A few drops of water left the pool and flew to Sima Yue's right wrist, forming a faint black plum. Then the water in the pool increased, and it became the same as before. "It's done," Mill said. Only then did they know that the separation was done. "That's it." The water in the pool didn't seem to have changed. "Those are all dregs. It's useless to keep them," Mill explained. His strength was all in the plum blossom in Sima Yue's hand. With it, it could turn into thousands of pools of water. Sima Yue looked at the plum blossom on the back of her hand. "Can this change into other colors?" "Whatever color you want." "Could it be like that?" Sima Yue thought of red, and the plum blossom really turned red, tender and beautiful. She thought of white, green, and purple. As long as she thought of something, the plum blossom on her hand would change into that color. This was even faster than a chameleon. After that, she made it turn black. In this place, black was more suitable. But what made her feel strange was that her strength didn't increase at all after this contract. She guessed that it might be because it wasn't an ordinary spirit beast. "By the way, didn't this fellow say that it knows where your father is?" "Where is your father now?" Siyu asked. "This fellow doesn't know at all. It was lying to us before," Sima Yue said. "But it said that it has something to do with the Old Witch. This fellow's words can't be trusted. Anyway, isn't the city lord coming back? We'll know when the time comes." Sima Yue wasn't very anxious now. The more anxious she was, the easier it would be for others to find out, and it would cause trouble instead. This Old Witch is not easy to deal with. "Why don't we ask Ant-Man after this matter is settled?" Siyu said. "Yes. I'll have to trouble you when the time comes," Sima Yue said. "It's nothing. I think Ant-Man likes you very much." Thinking of what Siyu had said before, that Wu Man also liked her father, she wondered what it would be like to face her mother's love rival alone. After settling the matter with Mill, the square was no longer a threat to them. But to keep up appearances, they still waited in the square, making food and chatting. Just like that, 3 days passed. On this day, Sima Yue was discussing the formation with Siyu. Suddenly, they felt a strong force moving toward them. The two looked at each other and thought, finally, it's here. In just a few breaths, a group of people arrived in the sky above the forbidden land. In the blink of an eye, they arrived at the square. The leader was a woman dressed in black with heavy makeup. Although her facial features were very exquisite, and could be said to be even prettier than Sima Yue, because of the dark aura around her, she looked very lifeless. Sima Yue suddenly felt a little worried. Would this old witch be able to sense the connection between her and her father's aura? Master, don't worry. Right now you have a dark aura, but it is similar to your mother's. Unless they came into contact with your mother before, they will not be able to guess your identity. Mill knew what she was thinking and comforted her. Hearing this, she felt relieved. These people did not know the relationship between her mother and father. Naturally, they would not think that she was Sima Liuxuan's daughter. Chapter 1344. Kue Mingdai looked at the people on the square and said to the people behind her, "Is it them?" "Yes, city lord." Siyu pulled Sima Yoyue's clothes and bowed to Kue Mingdai, saying, "Greetings, city lord." "Greetings, city lord." Sima Yue and Diwamusi followed suit and bowed. Kue Mingdai looked at Blackie on the ground and frowned slightly, saying, "Whose nether beast is this?" "City lord, it's mine," Sima Yue replied. Kue Mingdai looked at Sima Yue, not knowing if she was happy or angry. After Sima Yoyue's forehead was covered in sweat, she said lightly, "Not bad." "City lord, hurry up and seal this thing," Wu Man reminded, interrupting Kue Mingdai's sizing up of Sima Yue. "Yes, it's been hard on you." Kue Mingdai nodded to Wu Man, bypassed Sima Yue and came to the side of the pond. Sima Yue saw that she was standing there without moving, and was worried that she had discovered something. If she really found something wrong with Mill, and guessed that she had made a contract with him, a fight would be inevitable. Although she wasn't afraid, she hadn't found her father yet. If she fell out with them now, it would be even more difficult to get information. "Master, don't worry. She won't find anything wrong," Mill comforted. "Yes," Sima Yue responded in her heart. Although this guy was full of lies before the contract and wanted to kill her during the contract, he was still more obedient after the contract. In fact, Mill felt very wronged. He didn't expect that Sima Yue not only had Little Black to suppress him, but also had the purple heavenly thunder, his nemesis, and even the divine bird Vermilion Bird's Nirvana flame. No matter which one it was the nemesis of all nemeses. If it had even the slightest intention to retaliate, it would probably be destroyed by them until not even a speck was left. Since it couldn't resist, it could only accept it. Although it was very uncomfortable to be bound by someone from now on, it could also see that Sima Yue was not a creature in the pond. She would definitely soar in the sky. It wasn't too much of a loss to follow such a person. The most important thing was that it didn't have to stay in the pond anymore. Since its master often ran around, it could also follow her to see everywhere. Freedom, freedom. Thinking of this, it couldn't stop crying. It was a smart guy. After thinking about this, it also accepted its fate, so it treated Sima Yue sincerely. Although Sima Yue believed Mill's words, she was still a little worried. Fortunately, Kue Mingdai only paused for a moment. Then, with a wave of her hand, a seal sealed Mill's clone into the pond. She then turned to Sima Yue and said, "I heard about what happened before from Wu Man and the others. This time, it's all thanks to you and your spirit beast. When this matter is over, you will be rewarded. This is a forbidden area. I hope you don't tell anyone about what happened here after you leave, and don't come back in the future. Wu Man, you can take them away." "Yes, City Lord," said Wu Man. "We will take our leave." Not only Sima Yue and the others, but everyone else also left, leaving only Kue Mingdai in the square. Every time there is a seal, she drives us out. She is really afraid that we will learn the method of the seal," Zhang Hao said discontentedly. Only then did Sima Yue know that Kue Mingdai drove them out to prevent others from knowing the method of the seal. This thing was too dangerous. If she was the only one who knew the method of the seal, even if others were disloyal, they would not dare to really seize power. This was just like a few days ago. Although Zhang Hao hated her to the core, He could not touch her. When is she not like this? What's there to be angry about? Is she not going to drive us out and wait for us to learn inside? Meng Sha ridiculed, but it was unknown whether the target of his ridicule was Kuei Mingdai or Zhang Hao. Alright, let's go back first. See you, Siqin. You two follow me back to the north of the city, Wu Man said. Are we not going to wait here? Siyu asked. They still wanted to know if the old witch would discover anything, so they could prepare in advance. If they left, wouldn't they not know? Every time the city lord seals, it will take 2 days, and then she will rest for half a month. She still has injuries on her body, so I'm afraid she will rest even longer. Therefore, it is useless for us to stay here. When the city lord recovers, she will naturally call us over, Wu Man explained. So that's how it is. Then little sister, let's go back with Ant-Man. Siyu held Sima Yuyue's hand and said. Wu Man opened a spatial passage and brought Sima Yuyue and the others in. After that, Meng Sha and the others also opened their own spatial passages and returned to their own mansions. When Sima Yuyue came out of the spatial passage, she finally understood why they had to use this in a city. This city was really too big. After they came out, the enchantment protecting Moose also disappeared. Sima Yue was very grateful to Wu Man for doing this, so that Moose's frail body would not suffer the pain of the spatial compression. Mu Lianjie had gone to save her father, so regardless of whether he was still alive or not, she decided to protect Moose like her own little brother. Sigh, I just went out not long ago, and now I'm back again, Siyu sighed. You already went out to play, and you don't even know how to return home, and you still say that you just went out not long ago? I think after a while, I'm afraid you won't even remember what home looks like. The person who spoke was third brother C, who had just entered the courtyard from outside. Third brother, how could I not remember? Siyu went up and held third brother C's hand saying, Where are father and the others? C family's third brother pinched her nose, his doting expression evident on his face. They are in the study, dealing with some matters with the elders. Jiqing is still talking. I don't know when you will come back. Ant-Man is already at our house. Why is father still discussing things? Siyu muttered. I heard that something big happened outside the city. Father didn't say what it was exactly, third brother C said. Ant-Man, thank you for bringing youngest sister and the others back. Only then did Sima Yue know that Wu Man had directly brought them back to the C family. Wu Man softly grunted then asked, Where did something happen? It seems to be the place that leads to the world of ghosts and souls. Father previously said that he would discuss it with you when Ant-Man comes back. He still wants to discuss it with Ant-Man? It seems like something big really happened. Is it related to what happened a few days ago? Siyu asked curiously. Don't look at me like that. Whether it's related or not, won't you know when father comes out? Third brother C saw the look in his youngest sister's eyes and knew that she was plotting against him. While they were talking, Si Kong, who had already sensed their return, suddenly appeared in the courtyard. He had always loved his daughter as much as his life, but this time, he acted as if he did not see Siyu. He looked at Wu Man and said, Something happened. Chapter 1345. Wu Man's eyes darkened. Wu Man's eyes darkened. Something that could make Sikong so serious was definitely not a trivial matter. Siyu rarely saw her father's expression. Even she herself did not see it. She asked curiously, Father, what happened? You are back too? Sikong finally saw his precious daughter. Since you're back, go and rest. I'll come to see you after I'm done discussing with your Ant-Man Wu Man. Let's go to the study. Okay. Wu Man nodded and disappeared with Sikong at the same time. They could even disappear without opening a spatial passage. This kind of strength reminded Sima Yue of the people around Feng Ruyan. They had also disappeared directly. Siyu saw them leave just like that. She curled her lips and muttered, What on earth happened? Father doesn't even have time to talk to me. Third brother of the C family also put away his usual joking manner and comforted his little sister. Something big must have happened to make father so anxious. Don't be angry at father. I know, Siyu said. I'm just thinking that it must be something big for father to be so anxious. Why don't we go and listen to it and see if we can help? That won't do. Third brother pulled her back and said, don't forget father's rules. You can go anywhere except his study without orders. Don't you have a guest? Why aren't you going to ask them to stay? Do you want them to go and mess around with you? Siyu looked at Sima Yue and the other two, sighed and said, all right, I'll bring little sister to stay in my courtyard. The courtyard next to yours has been cleaned up. You can bring them there. It's close to your courtyard. Third brother Si said. All right. Little sister, let's go. Sima Yue had not spoken since the beginning. She did not know what happened to Si Kong and the others, but her intuition told her that it should have something to do with mill being contracted. However, she had just arrived, so it was not appropriate for her to ask too much. She could only follow Siyu down. Siyu brought Sima Yue, Moose and Di Wu to the courtyard next to hers. Here River Earl did not need to follow her. He was called over by third brother for questioning regarding Sima Yue's matter. Although the Si family had supported her and helped her before, they actually did not know much about her. Therefore, they wanted to ask him to find out more about her situation, to find out who she was and what her purpose was. River Earl, come with me. Big brother and the others are waiting. Yes, third young master. Si Hui took River Earl to his own yard, where his big brother Si Zhe and his second brother Si Yi were waiting for them. Seeing them come in, the two brothers stood up and cupped their hands towards River Earl. River Earl. The young master of the family actually had to salute River Earl. It could be seen how high his position in the family was. Thank you for your hard work these days, River Earl. Si Zhe said gratefully. Eldest young master is too polite. River Earl returned the salute. We have some things to ask you. Please sit down. River Earl sat down. Si Zhe and his two brothers sat down as well. River Earl, what's the name of the girl my little sister brought back? How did they meet? What's her identity? Si Yi asked. River Earl casually set up a barrier to prevent others from eavesdropping, then said, that girl's name is Sima Yue. She's Sima Liuxuan's daughter. Sima Luxian. How can she be his daughter? River Earl, are you sure? Si Hui said in surprise. She should be right. River Earl said. She came here to save her father. But her father? If people know her identity, I'm afraid it will bring trouble. Si Yi frowned. Why did his little sister bring back such a troublesome person? Miss likes her very much, River Earl said. River Earl said, according to my observation in the past few days, she is indeed a girl worth befriending. To be praised by River Earl, it means that this person is indeed not bad. Si Zhe sighed. Isn't that so, River Earl? You rarely praise someone. Why don't you tell us about her so that we can have a better understanding? Si Yi said. All right. On the other side, Siyu brought Sima Yue and the others to an exquisite small courtyard. She said, this courtyard wasn't used to receive guests. But my father and the others probably guessed that I would want you to stay close to me. That's why they prepared this courtyard. If you think it's too small, we can change to something else. That's fine. The three of us are enough. This courtyard is very beautiful. Sima Yue smiled. As long as you like it. Siyu saw that they didn't seem to be pretending, so she was happy. I don't really like maids, so I don't have many people around me. I'll ask Big Brother and the others to send a few maids over. There's no need. I don't usually have a habit of using maids. Sima Yue said. But, since when did I have maids by my side? I'm not used to it if you send someone over. Sima Yue said. All right then. When the time comes, don't say that I've neglected you. How could I? Then I'll tell the kitchen to remember to prepare food for Moose every day. That way, you don't have to cook for him every day. Siyu said. Sima Yue originally wanted to refuse, but she remembered that she had things to do later on. She might not be back at any time. And Moose really needed someone to take care of him here. Then I'll have to trouble you. If I'm not around later on, I'll have to ask you to take care of Moose. No problem. With such a big sea family, one more Moose would not make a difference at all. Thank you. Moose bowed to her. It's rare that this guy would take the initiative to speak to me. Siyu teased. Moose pursed his lips and did not respond to her. See you. Do you think that what your father said just now has something to do with Mill? Sima Yue asked. Chapter 1346. It turned out that those two were not elders, but clan elders who had a higher status than the elders. However, the clan elders were generally the most powerful in the clan. They usually cultivated in seclusion and rarely interfered with the clan's affairs. However, the clan elders were generally the ones with the highest strength in the clan. They were usually in closed-door training and rarely interfered with the clan's affairs. The fact that he appeared in Sikong's study room today meant that the matter was indeed serious. Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, "The mine is in chaos?" Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, "The mine is in chaos?" Sikong's words made Wu Man's heart skip a beat. She asked, "The mine is in chaos?" When you went to pick up the city lord, I sensed movement in the mine, so I brought some people to check it out. In the end, I found that everyone in the mine was dead. When you went to pick up the city lord, I sensed some movement in the mine, so I brought some people to check it out. As a result, I found that everyone in the mine is dead. Everyone is dead. I've seen it. The situation in the mine is in chaos. Sikong said, and according to the information we received, it's not only our mine, but the other clans are also having problems. Is it all because of the situation? The other clans have all sealed the information, but the problem occurred at about the same time as ours. I think it should be about the same. So I want to ask, is there any situation in the forbidden area? Wu Man thought for a while and said, "There's nothing special. During those days only you and a few others were there. Maybe they know what happened. Then we can only call them over and ask. Someone, go and invite young miss and her friends over." "Yes, master." The guards at the door responded and left. Sima Yue and the others had just settled down, and were about to go to Siyu's courtyard when they saw the guards coming over. "Young miss, master invites you and the guests to the study. Father wants me to go to the study." Siyu was a little surprised and looked at Sima Yue. They had just said that something big had happened, and now he wanted them to go to the study. Could it be related to them? "Yes, young Mississippi, I see. Go back and tell father. We'll go there right away." Siyu ordered. "Yes, young Mississippi." The guards left, and a deep worry appeared on their faces. "It's fine if father wants to find me, but now he wants to find you. Could it be that this matter has something to do with you? Could it be because you contracted Mir?" "I think it's very likely," Sima Yue said. "Otherwise he wouldn't have asked me to go. I'm just afraid that the contract has caused some trouble. I didn't see anything unusual when I contracted." "You contracted something in the Forbidden Land. What does it have to do with other places?" Siyu said. "Although we didn't see it, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Let's go. We'll know what's going on when we see your father," Sima Yue said. "Well, that's all we can do." Siyu brought Sima Yue to the study. The guards opened the door when they saw them and said, "Master said that you can go in directly." Sima Yue and Siyu entered together. They saw Wu Man and Sikong sitting in the main seats, and the other two elders sitting in the lower seats. Siyu was shocked when she saw the two elders. She guessed that this matter was not a trivial matter. "Greetings, Father, Ant-Man and the two elders." Sima Yue did not expect these two to be the elders. Since even the elders had come, this matter must be very serious. "Greetings, Master C. Steward." She bowed to the two people sitting in the main seats. Because she was not a member of the C family, she did not bow to the two elders. I called you here today because I have something to ask you." "Father, please speak." Siyu maintained a calm expression. "When you were guarding the Forbidden Land, did anything unusual happen?" Sikong asked. "Unusual?" Siyu was shocked, but she did not show any reaction on her face. She frowned slightly and said, "What happened in the Forbidden Land?" Seeing his daughter like this, Sikong understood. He sighed and said, If anything happened in the Forbidden Land, You must tell us. The family has been in big trouble recently. What happened in the family? Is it related to the Forbidden Land? Siyu asked. Do you know where the family's mine is? Si Kong asked. Siyu nodded. Third brother and the others brought me there before. Could it be that something happened to the mine? That's right. 3 days ago, for some unknown reason, the situation in the mountains became chaotic. Some of the mines directly collapsed, and all the miners in the mines died. Si Kong said. The life of the family is tied to the mine. Now do you know how serious this matter is? Be it in the outside world or here, the mine was related to the development of the family's strength. If the mine was gone, the family could only walk towards extinction. No wonder Si Kong was so anxious. It was indeed a matter of life and death. Since it was related to the survival of the family, Siyu did not dare to hide anything. She looked at Sima Yue apologetically, but saw Sima Yue smiling at her. That meant, it's okay, tell me. What, did something really happen? That, it's little sister. She contracted the thing in the pool, Siyu said. At that time, that fellow said that contracting it would not cause anything, so, contracted it. Everyone in the house cried out. It was obvious how powerful and frightening that thing was. Who would have thought that she would actually be able to form a contract with it? But I didn't feel that the thing in the pool had a contract with it. I didn't notice anything strange, Wu Man said. The thing in the pool was Mill's doppelganger. It said that as long as it was completely cut off from its doppelganger, it would not be noticed, Siyu explained. So this matter was caused by the thing in the pool being contracted? Si Kong frowned. Father, Mill said that contracting it would not cause anything else. That's why Yue contracted it, Siyu explained. Moreover, Mill is quite pitiful. Ever since it gained sentience, it has been suppressed in the forbidden area by the successive castellans for their cultivation. That's why it wanted to come out. Let's not talk about whether it's pitiful or not. Its sentience was born from the influence. Do you know that this fellow has been in contact with almost all the influences in the mines in this space for so many years? Once it's contracted, all the influences will be affected, Wu Man said. How did those influences get involved with Mill? Siyu was puzzled. Because it's equivalent to the king in there. Those influences will also be affected by it. Moreover, they are connected underground. Isn't Mill in the pool? It's not a pool, Si Kong said. You won't understand even if I say it now. He looked at Sima Yue. He still did not know her name. Master Si, my name is Sima Yue. What? When the 3 Si family members heard her name, they were all shocked. The way they looked at her changed. Wu Man seemed to have thought of something, and her eyes became a little dim. Chapter 1347. Sima Yue. You are that person's daughter. Si Kong looked at Wu Man with a complicated expression. Wu Man blinked her eyes and collected all her emotions. She said, let's talk about the matter in front of us now. Yes, let's settle the matter in front of us first. Si Kong looked at Wu Man with a complicated expression. Yes, let's settle the matter in front of us first, Si Kong said. My little friend Yue, can we take a look at your contracted beast? Sima Yue agreed. With a thought, a miniature version of herself appeared in front of everyone. Is this what she looks like? No, she just transformed into this form for me. Sima Yue said. I think she has no shape. A clan elder said. Power is a kind of natural force, so it probably doesn't have a specific shape. Yes. Sima Yue did not hide anything. Siyu and River Earl were both there at that time. If the current situation is really caused by it, it might be able to turn for the better, Wu Man said. It's possible. Siyu looked at Mill. Why don't you give it a try? That. Sima Yue saw that they had all shifted their attention to Mill, and completely ignored her. She said, actually, if this force is messed up, we can just clear it up again. That's right. Siyu slapped her head, startling the others. You are what's wrong? Little sister. Little sister. Siyu pulled Sima Yue's hand. If Mill is useless, you can let little sister go. Everyone was stunned. They immediately reacted and asked Sima Yue, "Are you a spirit seeker?" "Yes," Sima Yue admitted. "Yes, he is a spirit seeker. It's not strange that you are one," Wu Man murmured. "But this force is already completely messed up. Can you guide them?" Sikong knew about the situation in the mine, and did not believe that Sima Yue could do it. After all, she looked too young. Even if she had obtained the true inheritance of her family, she might not have studied it thoroughly. Could she be as monstrous as her father? Her father. Thinking of Sima Luxian, he sighed in his heart. The world really made fools of people. I can't guarantee it now. I have to go and see the situation first, Sima Yue said. Well, let's go and take a look. Sikong said. The spirit seeker in the family has been guarding there for 3 days, but they still haven't found a solution. So, you have to be mentally prepared. I know. Sikong was quite impressed with Sima Yue's attitude. She did not directly say whether she could do it or not. She did not boast or be too humble. Sima Yue also had a good impression of Sikong. He did not look down on her because of her young age. Instead, he told her about the situation there, so that she could be mentally prepared. Father, let me go with you, Siyu requested. When she saw Sikong frowning, she went up and put her arm around his shoulder. Since little sister can go, I can go too. I know array formations, maybe I can be of help. Sikong's refusal was stuck in his throat. Then you can't run around. It's very dangerous there. You have to stay with the clan elders. Yes. I won't run around, Siyu promised. Then let's go now. The 2 clan elders stood up together, as if they had a tacit understanding. Sikong and Wu Man also stood up. They opened a space passage and brought Siyu and Sima Yue into it. When they came out of the space passage, they were already on top of a mountain range. This mountain range was different from the ones they had seen in the past. Every mountain peak was incomplete. Some were broken in half, some had many holes, and some had completely turned into piles of rocks. Among the piles of rocks, there were fresh bloodstains. They should be from those who had been absent from work. Sima Yue noticed that there was a layer of enchantment outside the mountain, which prevented the force from running out. Judging from the impact of the enchantment, the force inside the mountain was not peaceful. Seeing that Sima Yue noticed the enchantment immediately, Sikong explained. This was set up by the clan elders immediately after the incident. The clan elders reacted very quickly, Sima Yue said. Sima Yue said, the mountain's momentum did not dissipate much, so it did not affect the entire mine much. But this way, we can't mine anymore. If it takes too long, the whole mine will be destroyed. Every ore vein would form a force when it formed. The force in every ore vein had its own trajectory. What a spirit seeker had to do was to figure out the trajectory of the force, so that the workers could avoid those places. This was commonly known as the opening of the force. If the opening of the force was not done well, either all the force would be released, which would affect the grade of the mine, or the force would be messed up, destroying the interior of the mine. Another possibility was that Quang Gong could not figure out the direction of the force, and did not avoid it when he was mining, which would cause the force to move. In the end, Quang Gong would die together with it. Therefore, no matter which one it was something that humans did not want to see happen. Hence, the force was of utmost importance. Generally speaking, the force in the mine was relatively stable. If there was no big movement, they would not be in such a mess. Sikong saw that her analysis of the current situation was very accurate, and believed that she had some understanding of Spirit Seeker. Not far from where they came out, there was a group of people analyzing the situation below. When they saw them, they hurried forward to greet them. Greetings, steward, patriarch, and clan elder. Sikong waved his hand, gesturing for them to rise. He asked, "What's the situation now?" Reporting to patriarch, the force in the mine is still in an uncontrollable state. This subordinate is incompetent. Not only did we not guide them back to their positions, but we also almost let them break through the barrier. One of the white-bearded old men said guiltily. Elder Yan, there is no need to blame yourself. This matter happened too suddenly, and we have never encountered something like this before. It is reasonable that we could not think of a solution. We just hope that everyone can get along as soon as possible. This matter will only get more troublesome the longer it drags on. Sikong said. We will definitely do our best. Elder Yin said. Yue, these are the spirit seekers of the family. Sikong introduced. If you have any suggestions or opinions, you can tell them. Sikong said it tactfully. He always had to give some face to the elders of the family. If Sima Yue could not think of anything, it would not be embarrassing for her to say it this way. All right. Sima Yue nodded. Patriarch, this is? Elder Yin saw that Sikong was so polite to Sima Yue, and he was curious about her identity. Yue is also a spirit seeker. There are elders in the family who are very good at this, so I asked her to come over and see if she can think of any solution. Sikong explained. Chapter 1348. Sima Yue looked proudly at the panicking strength. You brat, do you think I can't deal with you? However, in his heart, he also felt that it was a close call. Fortunately, he did not trust this fellow and had made the purple top-grade Heavenly Lightning take precautions in advance. I'm giving you one last chance. If you play any more tricks, I'll kill you. Blackie can't do it. What do you think about the purple celestial thunder? Although that thing was unwilling, it did not dare to play any more tricks. In the end, it had no choice but to acknowledge her as its master. Sima Yue called out softly when she felt the connection with that thing. Siyu and Diwu came down and saw her confused look. Little sister, what's wrong? Sima Yue looked at them and said, I already have a soul contract with it. I didn't expect this thing to have a soul contract with me. That's why it's a little strange. Normally, a person can only have one soul contract, right? Maybe it's because your soul is too strong, so you can form another contract. Siyu guessed. It could be. Sima Yue said. Since the stronger one's mental strength, the more spirit beasts one can contract, the stronger one's soul, the more spirit beasts one can contract. That's right. That's the logic. Siyu said. Little sister, can you let it transform for a look? I'm a little curious about what he looks like. Sima Yue shook her head and said, It's like this, it doesn't have a specific shape. However, it can transform into other forms. Because of the soul contract, she had a better understanding of it. Oh, what forms can it take? Mier, let's see what he looks like. Sima Yue instructed with a smile. Mill was the name she gave it. The black fog floating above the pool slowly condensed into a shape. When it was done, everyone took a look. Wasn't it Siyu's appearance? Even her aura was very similar. Wow, this really looks like it. Siyu cried out in surprise. Mier, change it. The black fog dissipated, and when it reassembled, it turned into Sima Yu. Because they had a contract, even their auras were exactly the same. It was as if there were really two Sima Yue. This is too magical. Siyu looked at the two Sima Yue. With Mier, it would be much easier for her to do things in the future. Sima Yue did not expect Mier to have such a function. This was the first time in history. Although Thousand Resonance could also transform previously, other than her, the others could only transform and could not transform. If one wanted to imitate others, this aura could not be imitated. As for Mier, he was able to imitate other people's aura almost perfectly. He was even better than Thousand Resonance. Most importantly, Thousand Resonance could only imitate the light element, but Mier's imitation was not restricted by the other elements. In other words, it could imitate humans, ghosts and demons. Mier could be considered to be the only one in the world who had intelligence born from Sure. But little sister, now that the two of you have formed a contract, will the old witch and the others find out? Siyu said worriedly. She did not feel it, but the old witch and the others were very powerful. They might find out that Mier was different from before. I have completely cut off contact with my doppelganger. The contract on my body will not be transferred to him. No matter how powerful they are, they will not find out. Mier said. Then let's do as you say. Mier nodded. The Sima Yue that he transformed into dissipated. Then the black fog on the water's surface sank down. At the same time, the water in the pool slowly decreased. The color also became lighter, from the previous black to colorless. Poof! A few drops of water separated from the pool and flew to Sima Yoyue's right wrist, forming a faint black plum blossom. Then the water in the pool increased and returned to its original state. Done. Mier spoke. Only then did they know that they had separated. That's it? The water in the pool did not seem to have any changes. Those are all dregs. There's no point in keeping them. Mier explained. His power was in the plum blossom on Sima Yoyue's hand. With it, it could transform into thousands of pools of water. Sima Yue looked at the plum blossom on the back of her hand. Can this turn into other colors? You can think of any color you want. It could be like this? Sima Yue thought of red. The plum blossom really turned red, tender and beautiful. Then she thought of white, green and purple. As long as she thought of something, the plum blossom on her hand would turn into that color. This was even faster than a chameleon. Then she made it turn black. In this place, black was more suitable. But what made her feel strange was that after this contract, her power did not increase at all. She guessed that maybe it was because it was not an ordinary spirit beast. Oh right, didn't this guy say that he knew your father's whereabouts? Where is your father now? Siyu asked. This guy doesn't know at all. He was lying to us before. Sima Yue said. But he said that it has something to do with the old witch. This guy's words can't be trusted. Anyway, isn't the city lord coming back? We'll know when the time comes. Sima Yue was not very anxious now. The more anxious she was now, the easier it would be for others to find out, and it would cause trouble. This old witch is not easy to deal with. Why don't we wait for this matter to be settled and ask Ant-Man? Siyu said. We'll have to trouble you when the time comes. Sima Yue said. It's nothing. I think Ant-Man likes you quite a lot. Thinking of what Siyu said before, Wu Man liked her father too. She wondered how it would be like to face her mother's love rival alone. After settling Mier's matter, this square would not be a threat to them at all. But to put on an act, they still waited in the square, eating and chatting. 3 days passed just like that. On this day, Sima Yue was discussing a raise with Siyu. Suddenly, they felt a strong force moving towards them. Both of them looked at each other and thought that it was finally here. In just a few breaths, a group of people arrived above the forbidden area. In a blink of an eye, they arrived at the square. The leader was a woman in black with heavy makeup. Although her facial features were exquisite and could be said to be prettier than Sima Yue, because of the dark aura around her, it made her look lifeless. Sima Yue was suddenly worried. Would this old witch see through the connection between her and her father's aura? Master, don't worry. You have a dark aura now. It's just similar to your mother. Unless they have interacted with your mother before, they won't be able to guess your identity. Mier knew what she was thinking and comforted her. She was relieved when it said that. These people didn't know about the relationship between her mother and father. Naturally, they wouldn't think that she was Sima Lu Xian's daughter. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.